And we are live, boys and girls. Welcome, welcome. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Sunday, happy Monday. Let's see, Harry, Squid Lips, hello, hello. Lee, John Fossey, the model guy, Matt, Sylvain. I see what you did there, Sylvain. Joe, yeah, wife's taking a nap. Zal, yep, we know Zal's here. Singapore never sleeps. I love that photo you posted the other day, Zal, of the empty streets of Singapore. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I saw your KV. We'll talk a little bit later on that. Mike, there you are. Because of the cow farts raising the temps, needing more hamburgers. Okay. You're awesome. Hey, fellas. Okay. Miko, hello. How are you? My eyes are fucking rusty this morning. I'm gonna put some eye drops in. Brian, hi everyone from Northampton. 2FS, welcome, welcome. In scale. Oh, hey, okay. Thank you, Bryn. Bryn is the gentleman that 2FS is the one that sent me the end scales last week. I'm almost done with the candy too, by the way. Oh, man. Need to polish my eyeballs. Let's see. Yeah, you guys are happening. Hey, Darren, what's up, buddy? How you doing today, man? What time is it there? Almost Sunday night? Yeah, you're getting ready for your work week. Gunnar, there you are. Good afternoon. What is it, noon? Yeah, it's early evening for you guys. Great summer to learn new things. Uncle Night Shift kicks off the weekend and Mike Coach wraps up to Sunday. Yeah, I see Martin finished up his T55, right? I didn't get through the whole video yet. But let's see. Nog of the Nog. From Paradise, New Zealand. Swimming in the South Pacific. I sit up here. Dominic, hello. James, hello. Craig Cole, how are you, bud? From your service truck, sweet. How bad is it for you? I haven't watched the news lately. Is it pretty rough still down there? I think the temps and the weather shifted a little bit. My boy Craig is on kind of helping out with the fire duties and stuff. Does his crews and stuff, help out with all that down there in California. Aloha. Yeah, I wish. Morning, another New Zealander, sweet. You guys are up early. What time is it in New Zealand? 6 a.m.? Tokyo's 4 a.m., right? Did I do that wrong? I did it wrong last stream, I think. I think there's 16 plus on us. And I think Auckland time zone is 18 plus, maybe? I'm sorry. Luke, hello, from Belgium. Many of Belgian friends over there. Got to go back and see Pete to Pete. How are you? Clinton, 7 a.m. New Zealand. Okay, that was close. I'm getting better at that. Scott, there you are. Good afternoon, my friend. John Barnacote, hello. Hello, everybody. Yeah, everybody's in stream. Eric, okay. I thought you were catching a flight, Eric. Something like that, I thought you said. I can't remember. Marino. Welcome. Mike Perez, another Michael. Hey, there you are. Good day from the Netherlands, Dutch friends. Greg Mix, hello from Atlanta. Yeah, so you're always humid, dude. Is there ever a time when you're not human? Humid? We're all human. Ashley, welcome. Let's see, any early questions? Anybody new to stream? Focus, Jason, I see you. John G, hello. Scrolling back up, I missed a few names. Marino, I said hello. Gareth, hello. Model guy. Oliver, welcome. Panzermeister. Evan, welcome, my friend. Phil Bonafini, afternoon. Squid Lips, vroom. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's tough. Well, they're on summer break, so maybe next stream we'll do an F1 recap next stream or something. Yeah, today was a big race. A lot of shit went down. But we'll talk about that later. So anybody hasn't seen it yet, we have to be quiet right now. Sorry. Tomas, I said hello. John Foss. Yeah, you guys okay? I'm catching it. Brian Matthews, hello. Let's see, 16 degrees Celsius. What is 16 degrees Celsius? That's pretty mellow. That's like 65, 70 degrees. It's pretty nice. We've cooled down a little bit. Our heat wave was the last couple days. Kind of ugly heat too. Not fun. Yeah, OPR kind of day. Don't know how much OPR we'll get. I did set up a new palette. I have a lot of OPR to do this week though, so I'll be using it a lot. And then I forget the gentleman on Facebook that asked a question about that. I don't know if he's gonna be in chat, but we're gonna do a quick little, just show you how I set up my photos for quickies. It's actually how I do it for real, but just for quick stuff too. What'd you say, Craig? I missed you there. Temp is okay. I have to go up next week to help out. Yeah. Stand by for heat today. Yeah, hopefully, I think we're supposed to even get a little bit of rain up here a little bit further north, so hopefully it does calm the west down a little bit. Okay, so Eric's catching a flight soon. All right. Okay, you're coming our way, bud. Sweet. Rick, there you are, bud. Michael Weiss, hello. Yeah, another armor stream. Probably next week we'll do some Gundam and trains again. I have to do some real Gundams this time, like real Gundams. We'll wrap up the little Mechatro dude pretty soon. I'll do like a little final recap and wrap up on him too. I'm gonna kind of do some stuff on the side and then finish him up, and we'll put him aside. Kind of call it a day on the little the green Mechatro we go. Marius, hello. Let me know when you plan for that HO rail crane. I need to get you some 3D printed stuff. Okay, sweet, Jason. I appreciate that. I was watching somebody's review last night. There's a company in Japan called Plum, Plum, like the fruit, but I think it means like pretty legit, unique models or something like that. It's a weird little acronym, but they've done like what you do, Jason. They've done a whole refinery in injected molded. It looked a little weak, a little bit soft, you know, but I don't know what scale it was, maybe 1/100 or 1/144th, but they're doing some stuff too, so it's cool. I saw, I'm like, oh, I should do something like that. I thought of you. Am I an F1 Mercedes fan? I'm an F1 fan. I don't know if I have a team anymore. You know, I need my boy Williams to do some stuff. But yeah, I'm a fan of the title fight. That's kind of what I'm hoping for is we need a brawl. We need a really good tete-a-tete kind of thing. But yeah, I like the only what teams don't. I'm not a big Ferrari fan, which is funny because I'm Italian heritage. Yeah, no, I mean, I felt, you know, Mercedes, but they've had their glory days for a while. McLaren is quietly sneaking back up on everybody too. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, good stuff. We'll start in about 5-10 minutes or so. Let everybody kind of roll and get settled. Get your coffees, waters, juice, whatever you do. Chris Corsa, there you are. How are you, bud? Hey, Chris, I meant to ask a couple streams, maybe one of the first streams. You posted some sort of lo-fi stream name. If you could either DM me or something later, Chris Corsa, on that. I'm looking for some additional music. The lo-fi stream I used last couple times from Lo-Fi Girl, one of the musicians in the streams claimed a copyright on his song, which backtracked into my stream, which means I can't monetize that stream. It's not a strike, but he just made a claim because now he wants to claim his copyright on that particular song that happened to be in that stream music. So, but yeah. So anyway, so I'm looking for some more music, something a little bit more safer. Because anytime these little copyright things pop up, they'll shut you down. And not that I had a problem, but it was a little bit of a kick in the butt. Yeah, there's some people in chat today. Yeah, we're gonna do some stuff. Today's gonna be chill. Joshua, there you are. Hello. I'm trying to make sure I say hello to everybody. Get everybody going. 61 on point today. Okay. Summertime. People are chilling, watching me. Don't ask. The Olympics are on. F1's going on. You guys are watching me. All right. That's fucked up. I started working out shoulder hurts a little bit too. Yeah, I'm trying to get my bikini bod going here. Lo-Fi Records. Okay, thank you, Chris. You know, hold on before I forget, because I know that came through stream that one time, and I meant to go back and find it. And of course, trying to find anything in a chat stream 2 or 3 weeks ago was a little bit. So the music today is the old music, which is cool, no big deal. But it gets a little bit repetitive, and I want to have some other available. James Mitchell Hookham. Yeah, so the King Art brushes. Yeah, so you guys don't know, the links are in all the descriptions for the last 3 or 4 videos. Yeah, we'll talk about the King Art. We have new brushes and stuff. I don't know if they're available in Europe yet. I haven't done any homework on that at all. Yeah, hit the likes, guys. Do the subscribes if you're not subscribed. We're growing pretty steadily. So. Hope yours are more exciting than the Olympics. Okay. There's some world records dropping though. I'm an ex-swimmer. So in high school, that was my sport. So I do watch a lot of the swimming when it comes up. And Caleb Dressel was throwing. So he did all the events I used to do. So 50 free, 100 free. And I was 100 breast. I hated distance. I always hated when a coach made me do like the 1200 yard. It was only yards for us, but still, it's a long way when you're 16, 17 years old trying to swim that. It's like, what, over half a mile or something like that? It's a long time. Lou Fromm, welcome. G Construction, hello. All right, yeah. Yeah, the Schumacher days of Ferrari and all that kind of how they kind of did it kind of kicked me out of the day. I was a big Jean Alesi fan when he was driving, and when what they did to Yvonne Capelli really kind of turned me off to Ferrari. Capelli was one of my favorites when he drove for March Latenhouse. Him and Mauricio Gugelmin and all that stuff back in the day, and you know, what happened to him. I kind of soured on that. So yeah. But yeah, I was hoping just for a good title fight this year. It looks like we're going to get one. It looks like Mercedes decided to throw some money back into this year. So, no King aren't available in Europe for my limited search. Looking for something. Yeah, I'll talk to you off stream, Darren, and maybe we can coordinate a little something. I need to find something for more international shipping for some brushes that are similar that you guys can order up to. But basically, you're going to want a synthetic all-arounder, like an acrylic watercolor oiled brush. They'll say that in the description. Golden Taclon is the type of bristle. And they're about, where's my little Jimmy Jams here? Hold on, I want to make sure I say the length right. It's dry, don't worry. It's a dry one. Okay, so we'll switch camera views too while we're doing this. Get off my mug. Lots of ambulances come by today. There was a big fire earlier in the middle of the city. Rick, I don't know if you saw that. Smoke over by Fremont Bridge. So yeah, 1.5 centimeters, 15 millimeters, about is the length you're looking for. It's good for all around type of weathering work that we do. So that's really what you need to focus on. And I'll put details in the description later on too. Yeah, so I did Chris Corsa, I did Lo-Fi Girls last 2 streams on the music, and then someone in her stream, whoever the artist was that did some of the songs, 2 of them, made a copyright claim. And then what that does is that kicks back to anybody using that music. You're not allowed to use it now unless you have a copyright license with that artist. So they knocked my stream down. I can't monetize it even though they'll let the music go. Like they'll let it play in the stream and in a video. Okay, yeah, we'll work on that, Darren. I'll get some information from you too. Privet, Val, how are you? I don't know if Ross is in stream, but my Russian friends, how y'all doing? What time is it? Moscow? I think you're 12, so it's probably what, midnight for you guys? Yeah, okay. Looking forward to the next Mecca stream. Working on some oils with my MG RX-782. Your shield. Took me like 3 hours just, yeah, dude, that's a big shield. That's a pretty good size piece of weathering. It's real flat too. There's not a lot of stuff to work on. Yeah, damn, and before the good stuff starts, yep. Nero, hello, welcome. Bill Moore, I see you. What's up, buddy? Let's see here. Did I get everybody? All right. Yeah, I think we're good. We'll start here in a sec. From Spain. Okay. Mike Perez. I know Mike. Oh, Michael. Okay. Mikel. Interesting spelling. Alrighty. So somebody asked on Facebook the other day, as I posted some photos of the Stug, and we're gonna loop back to the whitewash into hairspray chipping, mission models, paints, and chipping. I did a ton of stuff over the last last 3 days. Ton of work, a lot of testing. So a lot of you, and this is just a preview. We will discuss in detail mission models, hairspray chipping. We're gonna adjust some of the language to teach you guys a little bit better. I think I found some of the issues you guys are all having. I've tested it myself and gone back and forth, but anyway, I did the Stug. But anyway, there was a photo guy. A guy was like, "Hey, how do you take your pics?" So this is a desktop setup how I normally shoot my pictures. I use the same light for the last decade. It's the same light in all the books, same light for the stream, same light for everything. And what I'll do is I'll have all the equipment out of the way, of course, and this is just a camera for just, visual reference of where it is. But basically, white paper, and it'll be curved. I use a bigger sheet and it'll be curved up. And I use bounce light and single source light. That's how I shoot my photos for all the books since day one. And this is how I do it. It's the same light, the same cardboard. I use a bounce light, bounces the light up in, boom, 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 into here. Camera's down low. I use a lot of eye level shots. I don't shoot too many from above because then it instantly looks like a scale model. So I try to give you guys a low perspective. I drop them into Photoshop and then I erase the background so it's pure white. And I do some hair of color adjustments sometimes. But also I shoot at night. And that's because right now with the ambient light, all this will shift all the colors. And my cameras are all custom white balance setup. So that's a basic shot for my model photography. And what I did the other day, what you guys saw, was actually the iPhone. I've just been using the iPhone. Just don't even care. For the books, I use my real cameras, but that's just what it looks like. So if you've ever wondered what a single light source setup, and the reason I use single light source setup is because I get a single shadow, and that looks realistic. Oftentimes when you have 3 or 4 lights, you get bounce shadows all over the place. And for book productions, I don't like it, so I never use it. So I use the bounce cardboard light to bounce the light. That's how I shoot. We'll have a photography stream where we really get into it. We'll dive deep, we'll go hard. But that's just the basic look of what I do, because the guy asked and I said I'd show him what it looked like. And the iPhone just does its thing. I don't even touch the iPhone. I just hit the focus, boom, done. Oops, Mr. Wheel. Oh, I found my wheels, my missing wheels. So I did a deep dive in my storage because it was pissing me off. As this project took life, I was like, I need my other wheels. I don't know where they were. Again, this was an old cheapy model that I built off of eBay. But yeah, I did some more work on this, quite a bit more. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. But yeah, I gotta paint all these up. So we'll keep going on this later, I promise. Promise. All right. Okay. Zoom back in. Tracks and wheels. That's what everybody's here for today. Lots of good stuff to talk about. Okay. Get set up here. We're gonna do tracks first and then wheels, because one of our boys is rolling in late and he sent me some wheel photos and I told him I'd do tracks first, so it gives him a little bit extra time to hit the stream. So we'll do the track part first. Damon Hill fan, yeah. Hill was good back in the day. Son of Graham. Okay, everybody good? All right. So Joe's ordered the colors primer this week to start experimenting. Sweet. Yep. Picture the most corrupt thing going. Yeah. No comment. No commentary. Anything big, corporate, political is always going to be super, you know, all that fun stuff. Pro Art Series 100 good brushes for oils. How long dry the model with hairspray technique? Depends on the paint, because things have changed. You can usually go right away. Once the hairspray is dry to the touch, and once your paint's down and dry to the touch, you can go. That's usually how it works. Yeah, you're not the only one here. Oh, I am not the only one that remembers Capelli was dude, it was brutal. If you don't know the story of Ivan Capelli, there's a reason he's not around anymore. And he was a prominent F1 driver who had some really wonderful races with the best color scheme in Formula One, in my opinion, are top 3. I shouldn't say, I hate best. Best is a terrible word. The Leighton House March scheme, to me, it makes those colors too. So, and also, is that kit been back yet? Is that Leighton House March probably out of production still? Gets pricey on the internet. Everybody good? Okay, so tracks and wheels. Zooming in. We'll even assemble some metal tracks for you today. This is a little bonus for you guys. These are actually Sector 35 tracks, but they're basically Friulmodels. So I purchased these a while back. So these are actually going to go on the Stug. These are like on eBay. You see the dudes that sell these for 22. Okay, what is 22 p.m.? What is that? 10? Okay. It's late in Moscow. Quick brush question. Care after oil session. Clean it with the thinner real good, Jason, and then I wipe and spin them to a sharp point on the paper towel, and that's basically it. Yeah, I should to new to stream, type the word question in front of your question, and then I'll catch that word question. All caps if you can too, and then I can see your questions easier. Because there's some people in stream today. 72, all right. Let's see, did I get everybody? Okay, anyway. Chilling like a villain. Tracks are some of my favorite. In fact, it was metal tracks that brought me back to tank modeling. It was these guys. These are a Friulmodel copy basically, but it's just the white metal tracks. And there's a few of them out there. And Barnacoat, remind me, and Russian friends, are the Master Clubs a white metal as well? Because I think some of the Chinese tracks today are a weird metal. Some of the other brands coming from China. But these are Sector 35. They were pre-assembled off of eBay for like 50 bucks. I'm like, okay, well, it's 35 a track, 15 bucks for the dude to assemble them. Like, okay. No problem. I've put enough of these together. I've earned my stripes. Like, I don't need to put track sets together that much. So I bought some of these way back when. But there were some spares in here, and we'll put some on stream. So we'll do wheels and tires after, but we're going to do some metal stuff. So let me assemble these. Actually, you know what? Let's start off with the fun shit, because I need to get these going so that they can dry. Okay, burnishing metal. So we'll start with the metal track first. I have here, what do we have? Solid scale, my boy Alex. This stuff's pretty strong. Now this stuff, you guys may know or not know. I don't remember where I got this from. I've had this for a while. I don't have any black in it. As you know, if those of you that know, they're gone. So I've got one bottle left, and I'll save it for one special project that is sweet to my heart that I'll get to eventually. This is a two-part system. It's kind of like a vinegar base to prep the metal. And then you got the blackening fluid here. I don't remember who this is, to be honest with you guys. But there's a few out there. And then I've got a plain bottle. This might be the same as the other one because it's the same cap, but we've got this. So we'll play with a few of these. And I've got my these are the magic containers. And I got this one for the clear. So usually what we do when we do these, I'll actually talk about when I start assembling. So I put together single link tracks with brass rod. Clippers here, get all my stuff here. Oh, my camera I was like, why is it way over here? That's because I was showing you the photo setup. Okay. Get that out of the way a little bit. Okay. There we go. Okay. And yes, I think Darren, you're probably around. These are the same pliers I showed on the Friulmodel setup way back in Missing Link days 20 years ago. Had them forever. They're great. It's always good to have like a really smooth, these are ancient. Just a pair of flat to grip stuff and hold stuff. All right, let me cut some brass rod off here. So I buy in the United States K&S Precision Metals, and this size is 0.016 of an inch, and I don't know my metrics on the conversion of that number. I even asked an Amazon girl, and she gave me some weird. I'm like, all right. So if you guys know, then figure that out. But it's probably 0.5 mil. I use two sizes. I use the 0.016 and the 0.02, 20 thou and 16 thou. This thing looks stuck. Oh, it's the same one. Let me cut some off. But K&S, you buy them cheap. Those things are like $1.50 for like 3 or 4. They're pretty cheap. I buy them in bulk. You just get them on the internet. There's some glue on this holder. Carol, welcome. Question: thoughts on rubber band? Yes, we're going to do rubber band tracks. I have two kinds. We have Tamiya vinyl. We have some resin, and then we have Tasca. Sorry, brain fart. Tasca Sherman tracks. So we've got some rubber pad live. We've got some dead steel tracks. We've got some German steel. So we're going to do a bunch of different ones today. I'll have most of the bases covered for you guys today. Someone can employed who's assembling. Yeah, I'm guessing. There's probably some dude in the hobby shop, model guy. I used to, trust me, dude. I used to sit there and when the phones were quiet back in the day, and put together Friulmodel tracks all by myself. You can do this pretty quick. Metric, is it on the K&S level? Am I just blind as a bat? I might be. Thank you, John. There you go, 0.4. I said 0.5 mil. I was close. Oh, dude, it's right there. This is why I keep you guys around. There it goes. So there's your mil size. There's your inches. You guys are the bestest of the best. Best of the best, sirs. Thank you, guys. My math skills are rusty. Yeah, okay. Anyway. The funnest of the fun. The old school technique that's still the best. Guys all try to come up with other ideas and none of them worked. Somebody's putting shit in a vise and then shoving the things in there. Anyway, I did these the other night. I'm just messing with you. I don't care how you put these together. So these are what we're going to put together here, and they've been burnished one time. You can see the little pin sticks up a little bit, but they don't come out. The brass doesn't come out. Once you burnish all that up, they all stay in there. So you get a little bit of that in there. We'll show you how we'll deal with that. That's pretty common. I know, kind of like it doesn't quite get everything. And this was solid scale. That's what this kind of. It's a little bit more of a true black. And then this guy here, these are the Friulmodel tracks. So one thing I've never really learned is if the white metal, and it probably does, I think the type of metal they use determines kind of the finish you get. Those are money. Those are money. Dude, this took like 2 minutes. And it was these old Friulmodel tracks, which were the old pinch together. I talked about them, I think, last stream. These are the old school pinch ones where you got the little, the wires inside and then you pinch them together. But that was after one little bath, tiny little bath. So you get variations in that, and the beauty of that are the variations. That's one of the things I like about this. This is my favorite process. That and winter whitewash. You ladies, you always are, Josh. Timothy, welcome. Martin, welcome. Yeah, they have I didn't see that on the label. I wasn't paying attention. I never look at that stuff. Okay, so let's zoom in. Let's see here. So I've got some of that. I've got this. And then I got a little pair of older, I use my older nippers for this. These are the old Tamiya shitty ones. Those are the cheapy ones. The cheapy Tamiya ones are like 10 bucks. Okay, so the first couple ones are a little bit clumsy. Basically, you put them together. This is really fun. Let's see which way is the hole going. Let me make sure I know what I'm doing. This is probably the other side. Okay. So get these together. Hold on a sec here. Let me get the first couple going and then I'll re-zoom in here a little bit. Because these are tiny. These are 35th scale, by the way. Works the same for all of them. So if you notice, one thing I like to do, one little pro tip, put the wire, so I use the pliers to hold. It's too much for your fingers to grip all this and do all that. So put the wire towards the edge of this, because what you're gonna do is that hole's actually pretty low to the ground. This cutting mat's really nice. It's super durable. I love it. I'll have to put the link up to it too. It's not a good cutting mat, but it's a good desk protector. Let's see, I'll zoom in. Let's see how close I can get in. Okay, that's about as much as I can do. Move it over here. Okay, so basic, it's real simple. You guys know the drill. And you don't have to drill, speaking of drills, you don't have to drill these guys. These guys are clean. So let me get this on here again. Hold on. First couple, hold on. Come on. Once I get a couple going, get in the hole. There we go. Okay, stay for a second. All right. All right, time to get serious. Okay, that goes in. You can feel it go in the hole. So I push it in about halfway. I let it off. And then I double check. Okay, Mr. Zoom doesn't want to work again. We all know that. Okay, what I'm looking for, I don't know if the light's catching it. I'm looking to see the brass in the final one. I think I'm in there. Yeah, because I moved it out. Okay. So the brass went all the way through to the end. This actually goes really quick. Again, like most of the things I have to talk about, it just slows it way down. So the brass goes all the way to that joint right there. That's solid. I give it just a little nudge, and that's it. Snip them off. There you go. Next one. I've always used to see this. This is what F1 racing was for, to put Friulmodel tracks together, so I can have a race going on in the background. And then in the wintertime, it's all my football. Well, not my football, but American football. Okay, let's put that back on the screen. So you do the next one. Come in here. So again, I put the thing on the bottom there real quick, and that way it goes in. You want it to go in. That one went real easy. Boom, done. Okay. And like I said, you get going on this. You can hustle pretty good on this. You can do. I like to do them, if you're doing a full run, you could do them in 10s. 10s are usually that way you mentally just do, 5 or 6, whatever the number is for 9 or 10 sets of 10, whatever the count is. And what I like to do is I cheat. I get the vinyl tracks out and I lay them out. Okay, I need that many. So I don't even count. And then I just adjust accordingly. So I rarely count out the actual track lengths, how many I need. Never stop learning. Yep, always Dominic. That said, yep, okay. Forrest, welcome. There you are. F.A. Smith, hello. Okay, where's my dude here? Oh, there we go. Okay. So yeah, this is the fun part of putting tracks together. And as we all know, boys and girls, getting in the hole is the most important thing. So there, it's went in the last one, and when it stops and kind of fights you, you give it just a little bit of a, you don't overpower it, just a little bit of a nudge. That way it's in there pretty good. Come in here. Sorry for the focus. Boom. Do the next one. That's how I put together single link metal tracks. Now the Master Club with the resin end pins are different, of course, but if I'm gonna do something like that, I probably put a strip of double-sided tape down, and it'll hold everything down, and you could just zip these together. That's how I put model casting together as well. I use double-sided tape. And just lay down, in the old school Dragon ones, the old link ones, just put double-side tape down. Just put all your links down, a little drop of glue in each one, boom, boom, done. Wait 10, 15 minutes, wrap around the model. Set your sag. Usually I have the light a little bit better here, hold on. All the stuff I do for you guys, I tell you. Got Rinaldi putting track sets together on stream. We'll do a few more and we'll throw it in the bath. But anyway, this is the basic thing. I'm being a little clumsy today. Get in there. All right, dude, twist them out. So you can see why the double side tape will probably help, but I don't want to set it all up for everything. If I could see. There we go. So anyway, it's a lot easier without all the stuff in the way. I swear to God, I'm not lying. So sometimes this will happen. Sometimes you'll get a little bit too powerful. You'll bend the brass. No big deal. Just snip that off. So anyway. All right, there you go. There's your demo on that. That's all we're doing. Let's see here. Actually, it goes pretty easy. Usually, so you can do, you know, half a run, full run, couple hours, boom, done. So it's pretty quick. So in this stuff here, so I tested this out. This came out pretty good. So this is this stuff here, and I believe what I meant to say earlier, and I cut myself off, was if you're doing metal tracks, you don't have these two-parters. This is probably an older product now. A little bit bath of household vinegar, the white vinegar, the 5%. Throw that in there. I think it's got 5% acid in it or something like that. Throw your tracks in this guy for a minute. And this kind of pre-etches it. It'll pre-etch the track surface. That'll give you a little bit better blackening result. Let that go. I've got two more. We're gonna do a full run at the same time. So I've got a couple extra containers here. So let's put in Friulmodel, just like in the books. Let's do a little bit of him. Okay, and then we're gonna do one. Oops. We're gonna do this guy. This one's gonna go probably pretty quick, so we'll probably do this on the fly. Let me get my paper towel set up. Get my tweezers. Try not to touch this stuff. You can use rubber gloves too if you want, no big deal. Just get out of the way. Okay, so this is the solid scale stuff, and we're gonna put in one of the full run of the winter kitten. Okay, so we have our solid scale. I'll get to chat here in 2 seconds, guys. This is all real basic stuff. I have all this, basically every track set I've ever done. We'll get to that, Martin, because it looks beautiful, and it's just so much easier than painting. Painting is just ridiculous. And you're painting metal too. Usually doesn't stick as well. Okay, so solid scale, pouring it right in, cover it up. So, and it's already going. You can see it almost instantly. This stuff's pretty potent in terms of a burnisher, in terms of the color. It gets black pretty fast. So put the lid on. We're gonna swirl it around for a second and take them out. You can see the liquid turns green. That means it's working. Let's take this off. This goes really fast. Usually blacken it. Let's see here. That goes pretty quick. Go a little bit hair longer. So you're getting some of the bright metal there. So it's not getting fully in there. That happens, but we cover all that up anyway, so I don't really worry about that. Okay, I'm just dripping them out real quick, and then we're gonna put them on the paper towel and let them air dry for a second. So I'm gonna let those dry for a little bit. I don't wanna get that process out of the way right now. Okay, seal that back up, put that aside, because that is yucky shit. Okay, so this guy, this is the Friulmodel set in the vinegar bath first to kind of etch, and then we're gonna use the other company's stuff. Put that in here. Okay, that's this guy. Okay, so let's Let's move these guys. These are the Friulmodel sets. And if you're not aware, if you don't know your tracks, those are hollow guide horns. That's a pretty nice set. Oops, fumble. All right, so far it's doing a nice little tight roll. Okay. Put the lid on this. So we put the lid on these, and these are watertight. So we can kind of shake this up, shake it up. So Martin, what we're doing is we're burnishing metal. And also what it does is it gives you a really nice like patina. And to replicate that by hand with paint will take you a minute or two. This happens really fast and you get a real durable finish. It doesn't come off. So you're etching the metal basically. Double side tape. Yeah, I double side tape usually those, John. I was just kind of trying to bang that out real quick. For some reason, I never managed to get the full 100% of the tracks burned. Yeah, it's normal. You're seeing it. Oops, I should pay attention more. Okay. I'm just shaking the shit up. You can see how fast it goes, guys. This is how quick it goes. So once you get your assembled track runs together, so I can see, that's why I use the clear so I can kind of watch. Open that lid. Gently. Let's take these out. Okay, you can see that's, there you go, boom, done. Put it right here on the paper towel, seal this bad boy back up. Oh wait, you know what, here, hold on one second. Sometimes you can reuse this stuff a little bit. So it's what's the acid in this, guys? You guys know, salicylic acid, something like that. Pretty common acid. It's like a household cleaning acid type stuff. Gun bluers. The gun bluing stuff that you see in the sporting goods store, all those things, I'm not really a big fan of the colors. They get like a real even color. And what I like is the really kind of gritty look that you get with some of the hobby products, which is why I use them. Just throw that dude in there too. So you can see how the liquid's green. So a lot of the acid's been used up. So this one may not turn it as much. It won't be as potent. So leave that there for a second. Yeah, you instantly, the patina is instantly already looking pretty good. I can already tell. Like we got one rogue link in here. You just didn't want to work on it, but yeah, these are still wet. We'll hair dry them in a second too. But you'll see the variations between the two. Shouldn't really be touching those right now, but it's okay. Let's see, add some burnishing fluid before the yolk. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of recipes on the internet for this kind of stuff. And since the blacken it days, see this one's going real slow because this is pretty much a used liquid. Let's see if we can get some life out of this. The only problem is you go through quite a bit of this pretty fast if you do a lot of metal tracks. Yeah, I tend to still lean on Friulmodel tracks. I think detail and scale and size and all that stuff, I think Master Club wins, you know, a little bit, they're a hair better. But the way I do them, at the end of the day, you lose a lot of that. Let's switch bass. I have a big disposer container in the sink I get rid of all this stuff with. Take it to my little local place. Yeah, so this is just, we're doing the metal tracks first to get them out of the way. Because this process it's gonna take a minute to dry. So we'll get these done first. Yeah. I've actually never used the Master Club set yet. That's why I don't really know. And that's because I'm well stocked on tracks. It's one of my favorite things, and I bought Friul tracks over years for all the projects I have, so I have pretty much all my stuff. I'll put all the links down in the description after the thing. I don't know who this is it T1 Hobbies is? I don't remember. But Solid Scale is, I know, is current. I think Alex is still making all this stuff. Is that really your name? Deep in friendship and maintain the world peace? You're a believer, my friend. Yeah, Solid Scale is another one. A lot of the companies, you know, Ushi's, I know Alex did a lot. Oh, that went a lot darker. So I left it a little too long, a little too dark for me. But that's fine, we can use dark tracks. It just depends. So you alter your color by time, how long they're in the bath. And you have to really pay attention. I'm literally not paying attention. Yeah, you wish it was your birthday. Dude, you guys killing me, Smalls. All right, let's get this stuff out of the way. I need my desktop space back. So yeah, Greg, I'll put the what I've used in the description. I'll see if I can find it. But any of the hobby blackening stuff works fine. They all kind of work the same. I've never really seen a ton of difference other than just full blown. This one's getting the solid scale's a little bit on the stronger side. It went quick, so you got to be really quick with it. You got to pay attention. Not for stream use. Gunpla Joey, what's up, brother? How are you, man? You're curious. It's coming out nice. Streetsville Custom from Toronto. A lot of Canadians. Timothy, can you use that mix on most hobby miniature chains and think photo etch? Yeah, it does. The only thing it doesn't really work well on is aluminum, I found. Most brass, other soft white metals. And the reason I like this process is because it will blacken the track links too. So I use the brass rod so I can see it when I physically connect the tracks. And then when you blacken the whole thing, it blackens the brass track pins as well. So it's all one done. It's all one and done. That's why I prefer that, because I think on the Master Club with the little resin pins, which are beautiful, you gotta whatever. Okay, I'm gonna mute you there, Deep, and if you don't calm down, brother. Question: do you put these in anything post blacken it to neutralize it? You can wash them off quickly if you want to. It just depends. Let's see. But aluminum, this is a Gundam thruster bell. It chewed it up pretty good, and that was quick. You can almost see it bubble and dissolve. So I would not recommend it for aluminum parts. That was a turned aluminum. Okay, so let's do a little. Let me dry these a little bit. Yeah, later, bud. Have you ever used Friulmodel metal track? Franco. I love you, Franco. Rizdom, how are you, man? How's it down there in Eugene? Yeah, where am I with Franco? I should be getting residual from Friulmodel. I love it. Ooh, that's gonna be beautiful. Yes, Franco, sorry, I was being a little sarcastic. I've probably put together probably about 100, I'd guess, over the last decade on Friulmodel stuff. But yeah, you could wash those, Darren, if you want to calm it down. I usually don't. And the reason is because unless it's something, like, it's already too late. If this is too dark, the water's not going to do anything. It's too late. And you know what? This isn't bad. Don't get me wrong. Because once this dries up, it'll start to lighten up. And it'll look more like this. You see, it's wet right there. But yeah. So this is how this one here, they'll look kind of like this. But they take a little bit while to dry. You can see it transfers a little bit. You get a little bit of like a surface, whatever. And you shouldn't really be touching these. I mean, it's not going to kill me, but yeah, those are looking. And those are Friulmodel. Franco, those are Friulmodels right here. These are the old, probably like 2000, 2001 or 2. They're about 20 years old. These are the pinched together style. Very, very old style. But this is how they look when they're done too. That's just money, dude. They look really nice. Okay, so we'll set those sides for a second. We're gonna let those air dry a little bit. And we'll do some other tracks while those do their thing. So I got that out of the way. Showed you how to put some together. That actually goes really fast, by the way, too. The brass rod in the hole, that trick. And that's how I've been doing it since day one. I don't put it in the vise or whatever. Ooh, a little rusty color or something. Okay. Get these wheels out of here. We'll do tires second half of the show. First 100. All right, sweet. Oh no, we dropped off. As soon as I looked up for us, it was 97. Ask Tankcraft to hook you up with a mat. Yeah, I've been thinking about. I'll reach out to them soon. The thing with the streams is I'm messing these things up pretty hard, so I've got these kind of like a desk protector. My good mat's actually back on the other desk, and I literally don't use it. So I'd hate to have it and then never really like use it. But I want to do some stuff, and he's on my list to do some things. Yeah, look at my Oregon guys. You guys are so nice to each other. All right, what do we got here? Everybody good? Question, what did I miss here? What do you use for aluminum? Haven't done a lot of aluminum burnishing. There are metal burnishers for aluminum forest, and you're probably gonna wanna, I'm trying to think of the company name. We had some for barrels because we had some turned aluminum barrels back in the day, and we had some, but it's gnarly stuff. I wouldn't use it again. Yeah, it's hot everywhere. The summertime heat. It's definitely the hottest summer in Oregon I've experienced in almost a decade. Covered that a few streams ago. What are we asking here? Hold on, did I miss something? A question. Oh, sorry, bud. Question. This is totally off topic, but when you're chipping a paint scheme and need to add a decal that you can't paint, how would you work towards the edge of the decal to make it all come together? Probably by hand. Be real careful. That decal's, you're gonna want that decal down first, probably. You can apply decals over a chipped area and then kind of quietly kind of brush and chip, and it's gonna be a little bit of handwork in that street, but there's not much you can do because you can sand the decal down, you can try to wear it out a little bit. It's a tough one. You just have to kind of, there isn't an easy answer. There's no black and white answer on that one. You're gonna have to kind of do your jimmy jams on that. I don't really have an answer for it. But I would get my decals down, get my chipping done, and then through the weathering and some other stuff, you can kind of tie the two pieces together. You know, try to chip where that's not gonna be super chipped on the decal so that you've got kind of you don't want like a stark transition. But again, photo reference, see what you're looking at, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, plastic. I will hook up with the, yeah, thank you, Scott. You the bestest. It's my relaxed day. Okay. So, I will not be at the Nationals, Dick. In fact, everybody going to Vegas, you all better be paying attention because the mask mandates and stuff are going to make things really fun. I know my dudes at MosquitoCon had their MosquitoCon this weekend. A couple of my Gundam dudes did really well. Took some gold medals home. Okay, so this is, to me, a vinyl JSU. These are my spares from the 122 project because I use Friulmodels in that, and so I've got this. So what I've done here is I put a coat of black primer, and I did some prep work because I wanted to move some stuff along. So it's just a coat of black primer over the vinyl, and it's all Mission models. And I'll put links in description, all that stuff too. Don't worry. Don't worry, fellas. I got you covered. So I did a little black primer first, and then some tan primer. And then with the tan primer, what I've done is I kind of dab it with the sponge, and I'm handling pretty rough. And then these are 48 scale Panther late World War II Productions resin. These are the little snap together resin tracks. These are feather light, they weigh nothing. I like them, but I don't. I don't like tracks that are super lightweight because you have to really get physical with them when you're putting them on the tank and stuff. So it's the same process. Black primer with a bit of tan primer, kind of sponge, and that set up the process. Put those down here. Spill it. Bring some water over here. Okay, so I got a little bowl of water from my little painting palette. So while this is drying over here, we'll check them on occasion throughout the stream. Those are the Friulmodel, and these are the Sector 35s. They're still pretty wet. And usually I'd probably hair dry the shit out of that too for a while, but it takes a little bit. I'm already here, Chris Babs. Oh man, how are you? Did you go to MosquitoCon? No, you didn't probably go, right, Chris? I know a Bro Builder did, and I don't know if Joey, I don't know if you went up either. Yeah. Okay, so what I did here, just kind of I did this morning just to make sure I know what I'm doing. It's been a minute since I painted tracks. So that is the 4 life color stuff, and then a little bit of gunmetals or cold rolled steel from Mission Models. A little bit. This is mostly almost all sponge. So I've sprayed the black first, and then I've sponged the tan on. And I like to work with it like a tan gray base, whatever. You can kind of pick and choose. Does not have to be precise, you know. And I think just kind of a metal color doesn't really matter. Okay, got my little sponge of love. Let me get a couple fresh paper towels. This is kind of fun, a little bit on the messy side. Everybody good? Don't get to go. Okay, a bit preoccupied. I hear you, brother. Hope you're healing well and everything else. Okay. Glad you're here though. Good to see you. Tony Sillett, just ordered tank art 1 and 2 from you guys. Thank you. Postage wasn't as bad as I thought. Yeah, so I do a flat rate. That's why I don't charge you per book. It's one of the little love bonuses you get from me. I suffer a little bit on shipping multiple books, but if you buy more than one, you tend to, in one order, you get a little bit of just a flat cut rate. But I did put in VAT thing. There is a little bit of a bump last weekend from the previous time. So some of the EU guys have a little bit more of a VAT charge. Anywho, not much, like 10%. It's not terrible. Okay, what are we doing? Okay, let's do the life color. Let's just do them right out of the cap. Show you how I did this. This is how I did this morning. Set these up. These are the little 4-color rust sets. And we've gone over this in a previous stream, but it's the Life Colors CS10 set, I think. CS10. The cap's dry out a little bit. Also, let's shoot this out here. Okay, so I'd like to go in order because I'm anal, but it also works really good in order. So let's do the other side here. And we'll do these here. Okay. All right. So first off with this process, wet the sponge. Get a little water on the sponge over here. Try to keep it, zoom out just a little bit more, just so you can see this. So I've got a little bit of like a wet sponge. I dip it in the yellow real gentle like, dab it out. That's too thick, get a little bit more water. This first layer you want to go down really translucent. Everybody good for a sec? Gold medal chip. Okay, everybody good? Okay. All right. My double side tapes come up already. This is why you need good music, a good drink, whatever you're doing, however you like to do this. So basically, and I could preset this up if I can pre-thin my paints if I want to do the whole thing, but I'm just trying to show you this particular step real quick. And this is how I do painted tracks. Now this is kind of on the rustier side of life, but we'll show you how we can course correct if you don't like rusty tracks like this. And you can set up your colors however you really want. You can go like a dust, a gray, a metal, a really dark metal. Like you can set up your color palette. I'm just using these paints because they're fun. Just having a good time, guys. And I like the result that I get over here. And then we'll do the live tracks. We'll do the Sherman tracks here in a second. So now let's switch colors. While that's still a little bit wet, I come into the orange color. Same thing, water, little dip, dab it out, little dabby dab. While it's still wet, kind of translucent on translucent. This will build up in a second here. I actually don't have enough paint down. Come on, get down there a little bit more. Okay, there we go, get some paint in there. Something's rattling. You guys hear that? A little rattle on the desk as I'm tapping the desk. Okay, we're gonna dry these here real quick, get this kind of 50% dry with the hair dryer. So that's kind of the first round. You want it kind of shitty looking. You want that kind of translucent, kind of wet on wet. Doesn't look pretty, but see, because of the tan base underneath. Yep, got your beard. I could use a cold one too. That's actually already starting to look pretty sweet. Because these paints are really matte. Like that's a good color spectrum for like Afghanistan or something like that. Get a blow off screen. Oh, you're talking Luffy. Yeah, Luffy or Aircraft Boy. Okay. Zoomy zoom. All right, here we go. So the Panther one, I need to do a little bit more paint on this. Hold on. So reset it. Some more yellow. Let's get in. There we go. Didn't have enough paint the first time. You can see why the double side tape would help because these are really lightweight and they do pop up real easy. Okay, so let's switch to the orange again on him. Dry them up real quick. You can see this actually goes pretty quick. Yeah, usually if I'm doing this for real, Martin, I'll have a different setup. I'm doing stream. This is just me on stream showing you just the technique process. You can set all your stuff up like how you want and what you want to do, and you can do the full run, be all cool with it. So I gotta kind of do a little bit at a time because I'm showing a bunch of other stuff, so I won't be able to do a full setup for you guys. Okay, so now we've pulled in the third color. This is that middle rust standard color. It's a little heavy, so we get a little bit more water. Dab it out. It gets real messy. It's like craft, school, you know what I'm saying? You know, you gotta do your little craft project in school. And you do both sides the same way? Okay. So now you can see, let's try this up. This is really start to come alive. And the sponge is, I prefer the sponge because it gives you that gritty look versus a brush or an airbrush. Airbrush is too perfect for me for tracks and wheels as well. Or tires, I mean, treads, rubber. I try to avoid that really perfect airbrush look with this kind of stuff. So now I'm just kind of working the colors in a little bit. I'm not really adding more, I'm just kind of jamming them all together because they're still kind of half wet. Some are fresh wet, the water before they really kick off. But this is how you get that really cool look. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second because I'm gonna throw out a money shot and you guys can get really mad at me at how simple it was and all that stuff, and then you just can be like throwing shit at the screen. But having that tan base down, kind of a dusty earth base, I do work kind of light to dark. It's the same principles. You always hear me talking about that. So I'm kind of taking the standard brush and kind of even things out a little bit. Now we're going to switch to the dark. Get a little water back on the sponge. A little bit dark one here. Oops. Zoom, zoom. While that's still going a little bit. Ooh, that's too much. Oops, it's because I didn't dab it out. It's okay. But it's because you've got these translucent layers upon translucent layers. And this builds up the color depth. This is where you get this real nice richness of tone to the metal. But you can see how long this takes. This is why the metal track process is so much nicer. You'd be doing this all day to do a full run. Get some of that color out of there. Kind of letting that water kind of do its thing here. Okay. Let's try this one real good now. This is kind of the first stage. Yeah, it's really unprecise. Prost, you're welcome. Question, have you ever tried airbrushing tracks using a splatter cap or live color? No, I haven't, Nog, but that does sound pretty cool. Especially if you got larger scales to do. You like what you deal with. Oops, the wrong way on that button. Okay. Let's go over here a little bit. So just kind of layering in the dark color a little bit more on this Panther set here a little bit. So you can see here on that set there, we've got a pretty nice, good rusty brown, dark brown look on that. They bleed through a little bit. I haven't done the back side at all. We'll see how far we get because we've got other stuff to show too. Let's see, anything else? Minneapolis signing in 40-foot ink. How are you, brother? Everybody good? this guy again real quick. And I'll show you here what we do when we want to finish off a little bit with the sponge, and then we'll switch to dry brushing and some other stuff. But you can control the tone quite easily by varying how translucent you get with your, see how on the Panther set it's a little bit more of a dusty rust. This is more of a richer winter eastern front rust. So you can quickly adjust on the fly how you want to do this by how much paint you put down. So I'll take a little bit more of the dark, a little bit less water. So what I'm doing now is kind of more dry brush in the dark. With the sponge. Actually, this Panther set looks money. Looks really nice. So it does come out pretty good. Let's try this again. It's just tedious. Tracks can be too, but gold medal tracks, you should take your time. It's actually looking pretty good. This is the exact same process on this set of tracks right here. So this is the Tank Art 1, the Panther, the Winter Panther. That's all the life color stuff. That's what it's doing right in here on this thing. So by varying my sponge technique and how I do it, I can create very special effects. And then to get that lighter rust on top, we have to go back through one more step here. Let's put some, okay, let's get the wear and tear. Cold rolled steel. It's a really nice color. Metallic, kind of a dark metal color. And just put a drop of my little Jimmy Jammer in here. Let me get some other colors in there. There's some, I don't want black yet. Panzer gray and a little tire black. That's a nice color. So tire black's a nice like dark browny gray yucky color. So it's good for this kind of stuff. Water. No, I want that raw actually. Hold on. And my little square scruffy dry brush. Just getting some paint on the brush right now. Okay. So. Put down where the wheels run. The beauty of this system. This is all water-based acrylic. It goes pretty quick. You can go paint on paint pretty fast. And you can use a ton of different ways to do this, guys. It's just showing you a quickie. You can use other paints. You can use pencils. The thing with pencils on a painted vinyl track like this is the vinyl Tamiya. I'd not recommend a pencil on the surface because you can tear that paint off of it, even with the primer. It's still going to come off a little bit sometimes. So the brush paint is a little bit better. Just carefully. So that's the cold rolled steel. It's kind of like a warm metallic burnt. Let's try this off real quick. Oh, but wait, there's more. We're not done. We're nowhere near done. This is early days. Early days of tracks. Okay, so let's... little dry brush in the teeth. But you can see how that layered rust, see that little depth to that rust? You get kind of that light to orange. That's what makes this so beautiful, that set. They do a really good job with it. It's a little bit on the wet side. My dry brushing skills are rusty. Just hit those teeth a little bit like that. And this is gonna be one of the last things you do on a tank model. These are towards the end. I do tracks kind of towards the end. You see little vinyl nubbies there. What you can do is do a little. You can hit some of the hot spots here. Well, no, we're still not done though. There's a long ways to go actually. So don't think this is it. Even though they look pretty cool, I do like what we're doing. So I'm just kind of dry brushing some hot spots a little bit. Kind of a bare metal dry brush. And you can see that cold rolled steel is a nice little, it's not too metallic-y. You know, metallic paints, I'm always a little bit concerned about the flakes. But I like this one here. So you can see kind of this morning's effort, a slightly different color spectrum and then a little bit, which is kind of cool because then it gives you kind of like, well, maybe the tracks sat in that position like that, you know, kind of deal. So put those down. Let me get some questions real quick. Oh, what do you got going on? Nico, you in there, man? Do I see Nico? Hey, hello, Nico. How are you, brother? Hey, guys, all my Gundam dudes are here today. Oh, sweet. Okay. Josh said he's got 1 and 2, just finished 4. Jimmy Jammer, yeah, got my Jimmy Jams. Life Color Rust set. Yeah, I'll put all the links in the description after stream. Dave Morris, how are you? Is that a rust paint set or just the colors? You can use any rust colors, paints, whatever you're doing. This is just, I just have them, so I'm just using them. No big deal. But you can set up a yellow and orange, a rust, and a dark brown. So, with that process kind of there, let me show you a little trick here. Trick of the trade, pro tip time. So go back to the yellow, wet that sponge. Let's clean it up a little bit. You want it kind of a watery color. Back in the yellow. Get a little bit more water. I want a little bit on the wetter side. I want it to kind of bleed like a wash a little bit. You can come back in here. Oops, that's not enough paint. Hold on here, my cap's getting a little. There you go, the cap's reload. That's your pro tip right there. There you go, how to reload the cap with paint. Okay, let's go back in. So you go back and start relayering some of the yellows on top of the rust. And you can use a brush, you can use whatever you want. You get more specific if you want, but I'm just using the sponge. Okay, this is all wet and yucky. Some of the vinyl nubs on this thing. That Panther set just sitting there looking all happy. Okay, so what we've done now, still a little wet. Get out of there. Let's go a little bit more. Actually, what I was doing, and actually what I do would switch to OPR as well. There we go. So just kind of picked out 1 or 2 links in that. Like you could literally use so much different stuff. Okay. Let that dry for a second. Let's do some on the Panther here real quick. A little bit more of the yellow back on top. It's kind of that fresh surface rust look a little bit. Let's do this guy here. Out of paint. I just dry brush raw. I don't usually put a lot of water in the when I dry brush paint. Oh, that's not dry. It's gonna make a mess. All right, we'll get to some earth effects here in a second. No, you're fine, Lee. I prefer the sponge because it gives you that kind of, like I said, it gives you, it replicates the grittiness. Pretty good job. So if we look at this here, this is the burnished metal versus the paint. And a slightly different range of colors, there's a little bit more on the rusty side. But I'll show you how we fix that here in a second if you don't like that rusty tone. Like if you're a guy that thinks all tracks are super like steel, whatever, it doesn't matter. You just switch your colors around. So that looks pretty good though. But you can see how the sponge gives you that kind of little spottiness to it on the more subtle side. On the more subtle side of life. All right, back to dry brushing. Dry brushing 101. You guys see that? Oops, I'm in the way. I'm in the way. Okay, it's putting down your wear marks. This is 48 scale. I think Panthers get all three, right? The double layer? Shit, 3 layers? 3 layers. All right, yell at me, guys. Am I doing the Panthers wrong? 2 or 3 layers? I forget how many, how many road wheel layers on a Panther? 2 or 3? Tigers are like a shit ton. This is how old I am because I don't even remember how many Panther layers of road wheels there are. 1, 2, 3. You guys will, I know you dudes know. That's why I keep you guys around. Let me see real quick. Let me cut up. YouTube brothers since the 70s. You guys are good? Everybody good? Everybody good? Everybody's skills are rusty. Yeah, no pun intended. 40 foot. All I haven't been able to figure out how the broadcast schedule for these things. Wednesday, Sunday. Follow on Instagram. Will help you 40 foot get caught up, and then on Facebook I usually do a double post. But right now we're kind of running. It's only the first month, dude. So we may change it up. But Wednesday, I'm West Coast US, so they're all today's Sunday, so noon today, and then Wednesday, when the summer heat's not too bad, we'll go 6 p.m. So that's wherever you're at. I'm not sure where you're at. Just show you guys up close, a little dry brushing. Now this is 48 scale, so I go a little bit more subtle. And this is that cold rolled steel. One thing I do with my tracks in particular is no 2 sets are the same. I'm super critical of that. I don't like all my track sets looking the same. It drives me insane. I think it's boring, doesn't look interesting. In 2 tank models side by side, I like my Tiger tracks to have variations within them, and then they're different to the Panthers, they're different to the Stugs. Everything in the Shermans are different, like these guys over here, which we should switch to. So anyway, that's kind of getting that color down. Any questions? It's like, I don't know what to do. It's like, this is super fun and easy. If you want to get a little bit more of a, I don't know what you call it, but kind of that rusty spot, go a little bit drier on the sponge with your dark color. Just kind of come in and just tap that real gentle around the edges a little bit. You get kind of a darker, fresher steel dark color. Like, you can go all day on this stuff. Kind of tap that real gentle like. That gives you that kind of grittiness there. I haven't done the other side yet, but okay. Dry that up real quick. I got pigments too for you guys, by the way. Look at that. Okay. Okay, so that's kind of that process. That's the hand-painted process, if you will, on regular old tracks. Get your vinyl tracks here, your resin link tracks there. Let's pull in some Tasca Sherman tracks. Okay, so what I've got here is this is kind of a brown vinyl rubber. It's really nice material, actually. Let's see. Oh, Grizzly. Okay, sweet. Welcome, brother. We'll get the tires soon. Just doing the tracks. Do you graphite from a pencil? So GB scale, what I was talking about was with vinyl tracks in particular and the paint and stuff, be careful with the pencils because they can tear the paint off. So I tend to go more of a dry brush with the metal paint. And then if you really wanted to, you'd be real gentle like, is maybe hit some of these teeth with the edge of the pencil. It gives you a little bit more. You can go a little bit brighter metal too on your paint. Just hit a little bit of that. That's money, dude. Look at that. That is a Russian guide teeth on an ISU 152. You know, you can hit some of these guys over here and just a little bit, just kissing it. Kiss some of these little dudes. Super gentle. Because you can tear the paint. Even with the primer, you can tear the paint. We'll switch to weathering this stuff in a sec. I'm trying to get through the bulk of the paint work for you first, and then we'll switch some weathering. Okay, so for these guys, I primed them in black because it's rubber pad track. So we're going to do the end connectors. And this is the same general process for all black rubber pad tracks, whether it's modern or old, doesn't matter. Let's see what we got here. Take a shot, everybody. Take a shot. People are drinking. Are you guys drinking? Any plans for classes in the future? Yes. Yeah, guys, GB, also please put question in front of your deals because that way I catch your question because I'm scrolling. You guys are chatting. Oh, man, I missed a ton. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Let me roll back up for half a second here. You guys are busy hanging out. 101. Sweet. Never thought I'd be using sponge retract. Yes, sir. Sold Jimmy Jam t-shirt. Yep. It's coming. Apparel's coming. All right, what do we got here? Skills are rusty. That was funny. Yep. 12. I haven't been able to figure out. Okay, yeah. Did we get the schedule for you? 40 foot. You understand? Wednesday, Sunday, either noon Pacific Coast time or 6 p.m. And I'll post. And go to follow us on Instagram at Rinaldi Studio, and then I post up the day before. I'm still kind of working this out, so we're kind of still in the soft opening phase of the restaurant. Let's see, you guys are good. You guys are having a great time. Yeah, anybody questions on this particular 3 rows? But the middle row is double, so 4 and a thank you, Darren. I knew you knew. I was like, dude, how many rows in a Panther? I like blanked. I'm like, ah, because the inner rows are the tight ones, right? The ones that are really close together. Yeah. So and I never cleaned up the resin. There's a lot of flash on this guy. This is for like a Timmy Panther project. You can see the flash in the hole still. You haven't done the backside yet, but yeah. Okay, same idea. Switching to sponge. Did the music? Oh, you know what I did? Noob. Forgot to hit the loop button. Okay, let's put that back on. Why is it so quiet? I need the music for me more than you guys. Mold the middle to, yeah, hence the, yeah, it's been a while. I can't remember last time I actually slapped Panther stuff together. It's been a minute. All right. Everybody good? This is easy to see. Everybody enjoying this. This is the least fun stream in terms of what I'm doing. Well, it's fun for me, but you're like, okay. Sherman, Stewart's, Lee's, Grant's, Sentinels, no, not Sentinel, Kangaroos. I'm not worried about the pads at this time, so when I treat rubber tracks or live tracks, get all the steel metalwork done first. And if you're doing like an alloy track, then just pretend that these colors are like a pale silver color and just work that way. Just choose the colors according to your reference for each track set you're doing. These Tasca ones are pretty nice though. Which is it Tasca then Asuka? Is that how that went? Okay, so we're just kind of not super worried about the pads. And I shouldn't have glued these together, but I probably had these on a project somewhere. They were just in the bin, my track bin. I have track sets all over the place. It's the same basic principles in terms of layering up the colors. Just kind of a wet sponge with the darker orange now. Going back over those. That's kind of a wet on wet. These early colors, you really kind of want to get that blending going with the wet on wet. Kind of build up the opacity. There's no rush or hurry with this stuff. Get the insides too. Just trying to hustle. So sorry for the camera work a little bit if it's kind of going off camera, but we'll just hurry up here. You get the idea. Oh, okay. Yeah, just write down somewhere 40 foot, Sunday, Wednesday. And we're sticking that pretty good. Yeah, I'm having a good time, Nico. Got my boys here, got everybody's here. All right, so we got the yellow orange going. Let's slap on third one. I never think it looks that good when I put the third color on. It's a little bright, but it always goes way back down when we did the weathering and the dust. So remember, on an Allied Sherman tank of this nature, where the wear goes is on the inside. You're not going to get the wear on the outside because the sprocket interlinks with it like this. Like it doesn't overlap, it goes in between. So when you do Allied weathering and stuff with your tracks, try not to, you actually can leave these rusty on the outside if you want, because those end connectors don't get polished too much from the wear and tear. Everything runs on the inside. So you do have to play. I'm making a mess here, but it's okay. It's all water-based stuff, it's no big deal. Oops. Yeah, I probably should have opened. I found some old DS styrene ones too. Those yellow ones. They weren't cracked and dried, so I probably got a good set. Okay, drying this up. Is the room getting crowded? Oh, we got plenty of room for you boys and girls. Everybody's welcome. Yeah, Josh, that's kind of the point. So it's always a little bit of a slow roll, get going, and then you kind of can see the life of it come out. And I really want you guys to see that. It looks like shit right now. Do not worry, my friends. Okay, let's go to the dark one. You know the drill by now. So work up your color bases, light to dark. Don't worry about the rubber pads. We'll get to that in a sec. Probably what I would do if I was doing this for real is I'd have these tracks all opened up, laid down on one thing, because of the way the Sherman tracks are, Stewart tracks, all that. These were closed up, so this is a little bit more difficult like this, so I apologize. So don't think I'm an idiot. I mean, you can, but you do. But you know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. You all know what I mean. Okay, let's dry this up pretty good. See it on camera there. It's probably the camera's not quite picking up the subtlety of that. So I'm seeing all four colors in that really nicely, and it kind of so you can see how quick we get that done. All right. Let's go with cold rolled steel. No metal in this one. That's black. Pans are gray. Where is this the one here? Worn gray. Okay, here we go. This is a great color. Worn black gray tires / camo. Put my little thingy there. My little dry brush of love. I'll just clean it up a little bit. Put a sponge out here. Actually, let me. Probably done with these for now. Let me put my light color set away for a sec. Just out of the way. Okay, so basically what we're doing, just to recap, we've got realistically 3 or 4 different variations of track painting. These are the basics. These are track painting 101. We haven't weathered yet. So we've just done the painting part. Just so we're clear on that. You guys don't wonder what we're doing. I have Notice I'm going through paper towels at a furious rate. That's okay. Some clean stuff down for you guys. Okay, get some water. Any questions? Everybody good? Yeah, I know, Zal. I'm being a slob. This is all water-based. This is literally craft paint. And this is something, the life color stuff is not gonna be, I don't use the lacquers and enamels, so this is not gonna hurt me. No big deal. This is the whole entire process of water-based, which is beautiful. Okay. So because this, remember this is black prime. So this is paint on primer. And you could do this again 1,000 different ways. You can mask this stuff. You guys can get real insane with this if you want to. I actually like my live tracks a little bit on the sloppy. Tracks I tend to do real sloppy. I have to admit, I'm a sloppy dude with tracks. But I think it just, the result is a little bit more realistic. Whoops, that went on out of focus. There we go. So this is kind of a dark gray color over the black primer. We're just trying to reset the track pads. That's all I'm doing right now. I'm not really worried about anything. Not being super precise or anything of the sort. Just trying to make sure I get all that rust covered up a little bit. Okay, we're gonna do the inside here. Again, this is why they should be opened up. Don't do this glued together, boys and girls. PSA. That's public service announcement. What? Just dropped about the race. Oh yeah, don't say anything about race, guys. Please, by the way, for F1 dudes. Some of you haven't, if those haven't seen it yet. The Hungaroring. Okay, I'm just kind of brushing in the inner side of the track pads. Super easy and fun, actually. This just goes quick. I'm being a little bit sloppy. And I like to go with like a medium dark gray with this to start with track pads. Even though I've got a black primer down, that's just a base color. That gives me, like, it's like a pre-shade. Gets all your shadows and gets in between the pads. Oh, somebody's honking a horn out there. Okay. Okay. Like I said, this is just the painting process. This is just getting the base colors down on the Sherman tracks. Okay. It's not gonna look super nice right now. Now, where's my sponge? That sounds pretty, let's dry it off a bit. Let's dry them up pretty good. Now let's switch sponges, because there's a lot of rust in that. I don't want rust in my no, I can't put, okay. Fresh sponge. A dirty sponge, but it's clean. So let's throw in a drop of, so to the color question of working with blacks and whites. So I've got a dark gray, and I'm gonna throw in just a drop of black. So that's a little bit darker than the color we've got before. This is why you never paint raw black to start with, because you can't do it this way. You lose all your ability to add in blacks. That's why I always recommend starting with like a dark 70, 80, 90% gray. It's actually probably a little bit too much black, that's okay. I'm just mixing it real quick. So now taking the sponge, raw, no water, just unload it. Unload, unload, unload. Okay, where's my, go back over to here. Probably should use the sponge the same width as that, so I gotta be a little bit careful. Come in here and just kind of start sponging your track pads. Sounds hilarious. I'm trying not to get it on the rusty parts. Oh, there it is. I thought I pulled a second sponge out. Okay, there. Let me switch sponges. It's the same kind of width as a trackpad. And you can cut them up too, by the way. Okay, do you guys see that? Okay, nice. So by that gray base underneath, and then now I'm stippling kind of a black darky gray just on the rubber pad, just on the exposed pads, not on the end connectors. This is a little bit like when I sponged the other set. Just kind of gently coming in here. We're not into pure black yet. We save that for the end if we need it. We don't have to use it, but always try to save room for pure black, if that makes sense. Let's try this real quick. Again, this is all super easy, super fun. This is just adding a little bit of depth to the rubber track pads. And when I always talk about painting and weathering in terms of especially armor and especially stuff that gets really gritty and everything like that, you know, the depth of color is important. So you see I'm already starting to get some irregularities with that. It's already starting to look a little crappy. And that's what happens to real things when these things are rolling around. You know, they're not these super perfect, precise painted rubber metal kind of things. So now we're just doing a little another layer. See if I can get on the inside a little bit. Yeah, you guys can see. Okay. That's a little bit wide. Let's switch to this thinner end. So if I was doing this as a real project, I'd set up some sponges that were precisely the right width to get in here. We're gonna have some transfer on the guide teeth a little bit on the inside, but I'm trying to be pretty careful. And all this can be a little bit on the tedious side, so you do have to take your time. I'm hustling, but just trying to put some stuff in there just to give it some irregularity to it. This kind of sets up our base tone for the tracks. So basically this track's ready to be weathered now. So this is kind of the painting phases. But you're pretty far along, you know? Some of that's looking pretty cool. You know, especially like this is a marine Sherman in the Pacific. A little bit on the rustier side with the guide teeth, end connectors. I don't have a winter set with me. That would be fun too. I love doing extended track stuff. So it looks pretty good though. It's not 100% dry yet, but it's already kind of ready to go. But you can see that kind of gray, faded, dusty gray color. A little bit of black, kind of spotty. Doesn't look perfect. Starting to get kind of that rubber look. Okay, now let's pull these dudes over here, metal dudes. Let me start drying some of these off pretty hard. Let's see here, what do we got? Yeah, don't give the outcome result away, guys. Come on now, be nice. Can't mention it. Yeah, don't spoil it. James, I have T-Rex tracks. I haven't put them on yet. Yeah, I haven't used some of the newer. T-Rex are all resin, right? They look beautiful. I think T-Rex has some gorgeous stuff. Yeah, let's see what we got. Oh wait, what did you say, Darren? What do you do? If I'm using vinyl, I glue the ends together and put them in a cardboard tube for painting. Once you paint the outside, you flip them to the inside. Oh, sweet. So you guys are smarter than I am. Okay, this actually looks pretty cool. Oh, that's hot. The metal gets hot. I'm trying to dry these metal sets down here real quick, so hold on 1 second. Sorry for the noise. Let's see what else you swear vinyl gloves. Yes, no. Great stream, really nice to see them start. Okay, everybody cool? We good? Question, what did you prime the Sherman track? Black primer. Chris Corsa used this guy. Just a quick coat. Okay, so these are, let me open this up a little bit. So these are the Sector 35s, winter kitten. So this is a fairly quick bath in the solid scale, if you remember. So this we did at the beginning. So you see all this stuff in there? That's what you guys worried about. And there's some bright metal there, which is totally cool. But what I like about this, you just see, like, especially right in there, that's just money. That is so nice in there. Some of these little spots that will fix all that stuff coming up. And then you see this kind of stuff here as I rotate around. See how you get like a dark link and then a light link and then some are kind of dusty light, grays. That's the beauty of burnishing metal. See all that variations in tones? All that subtle variations like that, boom, done instantly. You saw how long that takes to do it by hand with the sponge, so. Okay. I need to do some metal painting on this Sherman stuff for a second here. We're about to get dirty. Okay, so those are pretty much dry, ready to go. Let me see what the Friuls look like. Hold on one second here. Let me roll those guys back up. Looking pretty good. Do you guys all remember Rustall? It's a weathering system from early 2000s. I think I dipped these in the Rustall prior to years ago. So this is a Friulmodel set. Let me dry them on the towel. Let me dry them off real good. Yeah, I do too, Gunner. With tracks in particular, the more spotty, irregular, shitty, the better. But again, this is all, we're still at the base coat stage really for all this stuff. We haven't really even got into, you know, bringing the full stuff out. Okay, so here is, let's zoom in here. Okay, so let's lay this out. So this is the Friulmodel in the T2 Hobbies, and this is the Sector 35 in the solid scale. Okay, they actually look the same on camera. They're actually kind of not. Let's see if I get up close. This is more of a... So I like this look here for kind of that gray, like non-super rusty look. That's a really good base coloring to work with. Yeah, that looks really nice. All those little variations in there. Yeah. So that's what the burnishing fluids do. That's why they're so nice to work with. You know, and you get a little bit of stuff like that. That's no big deal. None of this is a big deal, to be honest with you. Just early days. Yeah, see all those subtle color variations in there? Like you'd have to physically paint that. You'd have to go in and, you know, do this one, do this one, this one. So I do prefer the process. It's a nice deal. It's a pretty snazzy deal. I will admit that. Okay, let me grab cold rolled steel again. Do some quick burnishing on the Shermans here real quick. Sherman track. Back to this guy. Okay, do a little cold rolled steel, a little dry brush, loading the brush up, unloading on the towel. It's off screen. You can't see. There you go. And I'm just trying to dust on the inside here. Because that's where all the fun stuff happens. That's why the edge of the Sherman wheels get that bright circle. Because it's just like a Hetzer track. Same idea. They grab from the outside in. Yeah, so that just you get a little of the metal hot spot in there. Try not to get any on the rubber. Be a little bit careful with that. Oops. Do I know what it? Oh, the black is. So this is the cold roll steel. I'm just dry brushing it. And if you wanted to, like if you just want to hit like just to kiss the outside. Try not to get any on the rubber. Just put a little bit of hot spot, just a little bit of a metallic vibe on the outside of these end connectors. Just a touch, just a smidge. You can play this up however you want to, by the way. This is just me showing you basics. I'm not trying to replicate anything specific right now. I would obviously use like references and pick my tank and all that kind of stuff. Just adjust the techniques accordingly. Okay, so that's kind of the base coloring. So the metal ones are ready. This guy here. Okay, and then let me grab, what do we got here? Yeah. Get this dude over here. OPR palette. Let's get the water. Get this guy over here. Everybody good? Yeah, exactly. Your burnishing fluids, your base coat and primer, it's kind of all in one with the metal tracks. That's the beauty of it. Hand painting just takes more time and more diligence to get it done right, but you get kind of a pretty good result. You can, Val, actually. So what I would do is, so this is what I would probably do is use these as spare tracks. So they're gonna have some surface rust. So you can take your sponge and you can go right back over that. In fact, here it goes. You can also switch to oils with that too. I'll do 2 colors for you. Yeah, but the burnishing of the metal tracks, they do the primer and the base color for you, which is a nice deal. Pretty nice deal. So this is taken, oops, off camera. So this is the life color set on the metal, the burnished metal. So these would be a spare track. I'm gonna jam that in there a little bit. Trying to get in between the guide teeth and stuff. Try this real quick. So this is what you saw in the Panther turret I showed you before. Those were actual Friulmodel tracks. So they were burnished and then the life color set on top. Same idea. But again, this is still, we're still in the early stages. I know it sounds funny. Wet that up, knock that down a little bright. See how I adjusted that real quick? A little wet sponge, dabbed it out a little bit. Kind of softened it up a little, just a hair. Yeah, there's a lot of friends' names in here. There are some old names that it's really good to see all you guys. Okay. Zoom, get in there. So those spares, put those aside for right now. There, hold on 1 second, because we gotta bring in the big boys, the big guns, pigments. We got a little. I was gonna do something with that. I don't know what I was gonna do with that. Oh, I was gonna put the oil thinner in that. We'll do that in a sec. Okay. So we'll do the other side here, because we've been working on the inside. Let's work on the outside first, and we'll get to the Shermans too in a sec. Okay, got a little X28. There. This is for the pigments. I feel like a mad chef today. I got all sorts of stuff going on. All right, here we go. Okay, so now that you've got this to this stage, everything's kind of ready to go. The color's down. You're ready to weather. We are ready to weather, my friends. Okay, so I've got a little Tamiya X28 thinner in a cup. Got my pigments. My favorite pigment brush. Let's go light to dark. Sponge out here. We'll switch to oils in a second too. Okay, so let's not do all of them, but okay. So I go in the cup, on the paper towel. Let's get going. So again, light to dark. I'll put this across all three just so you can kind of see how it shifts, because the base tones will shift the dust colors a little bit. And I can go as thick as I want with this if I want a really dried packed mud. But this is the first color down, so. And don't worry if we've covered up some of the wear marks from the road wheels. We'll go back over that too. It's all a layered process. Okay, so we've got some pigments in there. First color down, the light shade. Okay, so we'll brush this on this time. Take another little shitty brush. None of this stuff, you don't use your good stuff for any of these. So this is just a little Tamiya thinner, right over the pigments, right over the thing. I'm kind of moving fast so we can move along. Where are we at? Ooh, geez, almost 2 hours already. Okay, gotta hustle. We get to the wheels. As always, I bite off more than I could chew, but that's okay. Figured 3 hours today if you guys are hanging out with me. So we're pushing another hour for sure. So in the Panther one here, I want more of a dusty look. So I'm just kind of letting the capillary action. Oops. My big hands and my meat paws are in the way. So I'm just touching the guide teeth with the brush and letting that capillary action come out. So, and these are delicate resin tracks, so this is basically a water-based system, even though that's a alcohol thinner just put down. It won't harm the tracks too much. With the metal tracks, you're fine. Now everything's kind of wet, so we got to dry this off to show you guys the end result here. Back on that guy. Actually, while that is still a little bit wet, get a little crazy, a little cray-cray on the outer parts here. So switching to my medium batch, right on top of the wet, lighter batch, kind of tapping that in a little bit. Try not to mess it up too much, but I'm getting kind of an impacted mud look, just kind of a smidge. Tapping these in. So that's the wet thinner down there with the wet light pigments. Now I've put medium pigments on top. I'm not being super coverage. I don't want to like lose all my good stuff underneath. So you get a little bit of the burnishing throwing through, you get a little bit of the light dust, a little bit darker. It's all together. It's a mad recipe today. Craziness. This is fun stuff though. So when that thinner that's on there will start absorbing, and what I do on this stuff, where I want to, it's the inside, I want a little bit cleaner. Just do a little gentle tap. Let some drop down. Let's give it a little bit of a spotty look. Because up down here, I'm building up kind of a thickness to it. I'll get to you guys here in 2 seconds. We got to start drying this stuff off here a little bit. And if you wanted to, say this winter one here. Let's take some of my dark batch. And see how we've covered up almost all those little spots that were showing up from the burnishing that didn't go well, like these guys over here. Those little, I don't know what you call them. So the dark one I'm just kind of being real patchy with. Okay, hold on a sec. There's more to come. Don't go anywhere. Don't you go anywhere, my friends. Let's see, what brush? Let's grab this guy. Where's my thinner? Okay, hold on. While this is, before we dry this stuff off. This is fun. Okay, a little thinner in a cup. Again, I'd have all this set up prior to, in terms of if I'm doing this for real, but I'm kind of showing you a variation. So this oil thinner, get the Tamiya thinner out of the way. Wow, sounds like shit's going down outside. Okay, my oil palette. Okay, a little oil thinner. Get some of my greasy grime colors on here. Nice and juicy, don't even care. Where's my little, and you know what's coming, boys and girls. All right, here we go. Yeah, this is the schnizzle pie right here. Just speckle the shit out of this stuff. Right into the wet pigments. So now we're deep in the weathering. And we'll get to the Sherman stuff here in a second. Treat it a little bit different. I am not concerned about my speckling and how it looks at all. It's a bit messy, which is fine. I'm gonna get a little bit more pure paint. Get a little bit darker opacity on this one. We'll start drying this off in a second. What you can do, so I'm just using dark greasy colors in my oils. You can come in on a few of them, a bit more thinner. And if you got like a spot poking up a little bit, it's a good time to do it. You can hide those up pretty good. So just tell, this is that little random brush part. This is where we all seen this 1,000 times before. I'm not worried about the surface or anything like that right now. The fresh guide tee surface. I'm not worried about that. I don't even know what it's called. The cleats. That's what I'm talking about. The cleats. We'll deal with that in a sec. Okay, I've made a genuine mess. So this guy over here is pretty good. Let's actually do a little bit of, put little speckles on him too. It's Popo. Okay. Actually, while I've got this here, on the spare tracks and the Panthers, we'll do this too. Okay, we're getting a little bit of the dust oil. I'm not doing a good job of my explanations today. Get a little dust oil in this. Tracks are sloppy. I'm sloppy, tracks are sloppy. Okay, on the spares. Just slapping some dust washes down on this. Really, really translucent. Go right over some of these brighter ones and knock some of that rust down a little bit. This is oil paint again. Let's get some in there. So these will probably be vertical like that with the extenders pointing up. Whoops, not even on camera, dude. Okay, come on. So let's go here. The dust is going to collect kind of in these spots there on the upper edges. Okay. All right. Drying time, and we'll get to questions here in a second. All right, this is going to make a giant mess. I'm going to screw up a lot of stuff here. Okay, clean up a little bit so stuff doesn't blow around and get in trouble. Got to pull out the hair dryer for this, so let me clean up a little bit. Okay, so that's a really... The metal tracks aren't so bad, but trying to dry this real question. What can you do the other rubber pad? Oh yeah, we'll get to the Shermans in a sec, Sylvain. Oh, you guys are doing shots? I love it. You guys are the best. Yeah, Tomas, I should be there 2022. So this is the Panther set, still kind of wet. Trying to get everything really dry for you guys so you can see this. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. All right, let me curl that up real quick and unwind that. Okay, now this is before we do the final layer of, it's still a little bit wet in there. So you can see that rust kind of disappears under the dust a little bit, so it cuts it back so it's not as rusty. Like, I don't mind a little rust on my tracks. I don't want them like super bright orange rust though. That's usually not, that's not how it goes for in-service tracks too much. Okay, so that's the first dry of, this is the Friulmodel, so that's that. And then we've got these dudes are drying on their own almost. Okay, so I'm gonna let that kind of keep going. Okay, now, my friends, what do we got here? Where's a good sanding pad? This is a good one, okay. So with the metal tracks in particular, this is the money shot. Y'all been waiting for this. And this is why we love them. So now, as the final kind of doohickey thing that you do in the process. There you go. That, boys and girls, are ready to be mounted up on the tank. And then what I would do is get these on the tank, and I would do the same thing. You can come in with the guide teeth with the sanding pad. And what I do is I'll cut the width of a sanding thing and come in here. Just kind of gently. I'm just showing you real quick. A little bit sloppy. You're trying to get rub those back out a little bit. But these are metal. These can be handled. Once this is fully dry, these can be handled pretty roughly, which is good because it takes a bit to get these on the tank, on the model. I leave my drive sprockets and idler wheels loose. We'll get to the Shermans here in a sec, I promise. So there's your Panzer 3/4s. Okay, so let's come over to this guy. Yeah, I mean, gold. That is gold, my friends. That's what y'all were waiting for. You have to kind of build it up, though. You know, that takes these many steps to get this all going. You know, you're doing Trax live stream. I was like, how's this gonna go? And we'll finish with the Sherman stuff here in a sec. So you get slight different. I don't know how it shows up on. Yeah, it shows up on camera pretty good. But see how you kind of lose that rustiness? Is now it's more of a gray metal, dirty, dusty. But all that variation in tone, all that grit and grime. So these dudes here, let's see if I can get that to fit on the sprocket there. Get up in there. And push those down on the sprocket a little bit. Okay. All right, focus camera. There we go. That's that little lovely focus shot as it comes in. You gotta push them on the thing there a little bit. That's the Tamiya sprocket. There it goes now. They start to snap in. These are tight. That fits snug though, right in there. That's why I like the metal ones. You really have to handle these, and you can kind of get these on there pretty good. Yeah, they don't fit the best. So Sector 35s don't fit the Tamiya. There's my review. They don't fit as well as you'd hope. They're really, really tight. So I probably want to sand some of the gaps open a little bit in the sprocket. But anyway, that looks pretty sweet. I'd be happy with that. And then what happens is when you go on the model, well here, that's not weathered, but you can see how the pigments have covered up a lot of that stuff, the white little patches. You know, but you see how you get the variations. And each one's special. Each one is just like a little bit of love. And if it's too much, like whatever, like you guys are like, well, maybe I don't want quite that. I want a little more track showing. You can come in and start brushing out some of that pigment to a little bit. You know, you can knock some down a little bit. You can play with that. I'm okay with that. All right, we'll do that. Questions, and we'll do a little bit of Sherman love. And then we'll do some wheels. You guys are drinking. Boys are going. What can you do the rubber pads of Sherman to make up more layers and tear down to match the rest of the tank? If Sylvain, if you're going to do a rubber pad track, doesn't have to be Sherman, but prior to painting, you can scrape them up pretty good with really rough sanding paper. You can chip and nick them out with a knife. It takes you time. I mean, especially the Sherman tracks that are resin, that are link to link. You can really cut those up pretty good if you want to grind those pads down. You can do as much pre-work as you want. And even with the German stuff, you can come in and, I don't think I have any here. Oh, I didn't finish the Panther ones up. Should wash my hands. Look at a mess. I am a mess. Yeah, it's a messy process. Oh yeah. I just let that oil dry on its own. Let's Didn't really blend anything, but come in here. You can be as precise and as gnarly as you want with the oils, with the tracks, the spare tracks. Yeah, it's kind of a cool look. So see how the oil, the dust oil kind of knocked that orange rust down a little bit. And there's just a soft amount of dust right in there, a little bit in here. Yeah, that would go in the nose of the tank. Pretty cool. All right. Yeah, we'll get the tires here in a sec, Carlos. We're just about switching over. I don't know if Grizz, you're still around. Yeah. All right. Clean up this mess here. So you can see all the variations you get with the tracks. And I didn't even bother putting the metal part back on the brush mark, or whatever. I run out of time. I could probably do a track stream and then a road wheel stream and all that stuff. We might do that again in the future too. But yeah, that actually turned out pretty good. I'd be happy with. Now the hub's not, the sprocket's not weathered, but yeah, that looks pretty good. But the metal ones, you can really manhandle them, which is what I like about them too. Another little sidebar. Yeah, that looks pretty good though. Roll those guys back up. Take my pictures with them. Yeah, you can see here. Actually, here, I'll show you here real quick. Let's take that sprocket out of there. We'll switch here. We'll switch the tires here in a sec, guys. Actually, sorry, do the Sherman here real quick, and then we'll switch to the tires and road wheels. Okay. So you can see you go. The process goes really quick. That's the unweathered part, but you can see the color and discoloration. It's nice. All right, good times. Back to the Sherman. Okay, let's get this guy. God, it's so bright. Like, why is the sun on me? You open the window. Okay, so to the Sherman. Same dusty mess. Do a little light. Go a little bit less. You can see how the dust immediately knocks that rust tone down a little bit. Now I'm going to show you how, like, if the pads are a little bit dusty, but then the top part of the pad is kind of fresh or black, you can actually dust up the pads if you want to. Just depends on the look you're going for. And we'll go a little bit more into that on the tire side, but rubber tracks and rubber tires kind of work the same way. Same thing, I'm trying to get a little bit of that patchiness, not trying to do super even. Trying to get some of that. It's kind of a dusty Sherman track. Oops, went right. So many pigments on the paper towel. That's okay. We'll use it to our advantage. A little yellow bit there. Track 101 is a messy job. Okay, where's my Tamiya thinner over here? You can use the airbrush with this if you want to. Okay, let's put a little Tamiya thinner in the airbrush. Okay, let's crank the pressure way down. Oops. Dropping my air pressure in the compressor. All right, if you remember this trick from the other stream, the pigment stream, so we got some dust. Oop, just put my finger on the top, that's bad. Okay, I'm gonna do this a little bit off camera. This is gonna make a mess. Just kind of gently spritzing that Tamiya thinner down, straight over this. Just kind of fixes it in place. It gives a little bit of a spotty look. And like Darren said, you know, put this on something so you don't have to handle this. Yeah, it's not good that I have to handle it like that, but it's okay. I'm just trying to show you the technique. Just spritzing about 4 or 5 psi, pure thinner. So it looks a little rough right now, but that's okay. A little spot in there. It looks a little bit better on the inside. It actually looks pretty good in there. On the inside area up in there. Yeah, it looks pretty nice up there. See how the dust collects around the teeth and stuff? So you can get a little bit of the rust showing through. By sponging everything, by quick, you can see how fast that went too, by the way. This is me not even trying hard. Okay, so let's dry brush the pads one more time. You probably have it. Ooh. Sorry guys, did not mean to do that. All right, so let me get a little gray and black in here. That's the metal. Some dark gray. Put a drop, that's primer. And drop of black, kind of a really dark gray. An almost black color. That's my water. We'll switch the tires right after this. Okay, so for the pads, we'll start with the sponge. Wet this guy up. Here we go, hold on. I'm gonna mix that paint real quick. Put too much in there. Don't need that much paint. It's okay. Clean that off stream a little bit here. Sponge. Okay. It's too much. Back that off. Dab it on the paper towel. I'm trying to get this to kind of a dry brush stage a little bit. Go right back over the pigments. It's actually pulling some of the pigments off. That's okay. So I'm trying to, oops. And we got some of the pigments on the guide teeth, which is okay, but we'll knock some back a little bit. So this is bringing just a little bit more of the track color, the pad color back out. So a little bit of the dust embedded in there. This gives you that nice little gritty look. So say there's too much. Knock some of that dust off there a little bit. You get a little bit more contrast build up. So now you've got the dust embedded in there with the rust. The dust is embedded in the rubber. That's 30 tons of love rolling around, right? Just knocking some of the dust off the hot spot. Just a little more contrast. And now for the black. So that's why you save all the black for the end part. It's a little bit like the sanding part on the Panzer tracks. So dry brush, unload this really good. Kind of stippling in between the pads a little bit. Just real gentle, just kind of dry brushing the pads. Actually, I probably could do a better job with the sponge. Hold on a second. Dab that out a little bit. So I've built up 3 or 4 layer colors here. But the black is so softly applied, it's not super contrast. You're just getting a little bit of like fresh. See if that's that's okay. I don't mind that actually. Just knock that down a little bit with the back of the spine. See, there you go. Now you're getting some real nice little. You probably could actually mount these up on the tank and do all this on the tank too, on the model. I'll get to the chat here in 2 seconds, guys. Hopefully nothing bad's coming down. Self-moderate. Guy's gonna be drunk in a second. Bunch of drunks in the chat. I love it. That looks pretty good. That's pretty tasty. That is some tasty schnizzle pie. All right, where's my cold rolled steel? A little drop of cold rolled steel. Oh, I still got some in there. Okay, cool. Hold on. Still got some going. Some of my best track work. Okay, so I've got the final dry brush. Focus. All right, look at that. God, that looks good. Because if this looked like crap, I'd be so mad. Can you imagine? Dude, we're in all these socks. Old guy pulling it out. Look at that. Look at that snizzle. Okay, a little bit of a dry brush of cold rolled steel. Just on the edge of those end connectors. Just a little repolish it. I'd probably have this on the tank. Just a hair contrast. Again, you can fine tune this however end result you guys are looking for. But hopefully, Sylvain, you guys, yeah. You do the same on the inside in here and get those inside of the teeth in there. Pop those back out. You can do brighter metal if you want like a real shiny metal in there. And I just leave that interior like that. I wouldn't even touch those. See, by putting that little dust pigment down, that little spritzer, you go back and rewind and watch that little part. You just spritzing that little thinner down on there as a fixer. You get that kind of speckly dust. Yeah. And even that crappy, like right in there too, that's like if it ran over deep, like this kind of randomness. Yeah. We could do that all day, my friends. That's some good schnizzle pie right there. Okay. All right, let's get to the tires and stuff. I might take a quick nature break to wash my hands here because I'm a mess. I'm a legit mess. All right, what do we got? Would it work for tires? Yeah, Carl, okay, we're gonna switch up. Oh, there's new comments we got down there. What do we got here? Oh, I have a few books to sign. Yeah, please bring it to the shows. I will sign them. Drink times too. You guys are drinking. Wait. What are the drink triggers? Jimmy Jams? Are you doing shots on Jimmy Jams? Is that what you guys? I fucking love you guys. Oh, yeah. It's the money shot. Boom, done. Little. I grew up watching Emerald, so I'm trying not to use his terms, but I watched a lot of Emerald Lagasse growing up. I loved his shows. I loved how he interacts with people and talks to people, so. All right, we got a good hour left in me. We'll do some tires and wheels. I'm gonna go wash my hands real quick. Do your shots because I need to clean the Jimmy Jams. There you go. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. I'm a mess. All right, I'm back. I'm coming. All right, is there any questions on tracks? All right. So the hell's down. Did we lose a man? You're fine. I don't even know what time it is in Singapore is out. Okay, let's switch to tires. Okay, let's put these cats back on the pigments for now. Everybody good? Yeah, I just had to wash my hands were a mess. Okay, see how far we get with this. And we'll do a bunch more streams with this kind of stuff too. These kind of detailed parts like this are, you know, we'll do over and over again. We'll do some wood chipping again too and all sorts of fun stuff. That's out of the way, that's out of the way. Let's get rid of this guy. Let's sponge here. Let's take the pigment love. We can use that, that's still usable. Okay. Not too bad for, usually tracks get pretty serious. So when I do my tracks for my actual projects, I'll put like newspaper down over the whole thing, cover the whole deal, do it real methodical, like no hurry, no rush, get it done nice and neat. Let's do a little recap on everything here. We'll go through these one on one here. Let's do a quick recap and we'll switch over. So this is Tamiya Vinyl, JSU 152 tracks. This is World War II Resin Productions 48 scale Panther tracks. This is Winter Ket and Panzer 3/4s, I think you're 40 centimeters, Sector 35s, but they're white metal, burnished. And then some life, so these are life color, and then burnishing with life color, and these are raw burnished, unweathered. And you can see that's kind of how they look. And then this is the Tasca Asuka Sherman tracks. We had a good time with that. That came out pretty cool. Those are nice. I'm thinking sometime somewhere in Italy, my friends. We didn't do any of the back sides of stuff, but you just repeat on the other side. And when we do full projects, I'll show you, because you'll see these dudes show up on the Stug. We'll keep using these. So we'll see these reappear and how we integrate them into the project and everything else. We'll keep going with the Stug model. It's kind of taken over as the first RSP rebuild, kind of furthest along. Okay, do I have more? Yeah, I thought I had one more. I'll leave that on that. And we've got. Okay, I don't know if I'll do some airbrush chipping with the rims yet, but we'll see. We might get pretty far. We guys good? I've got plenty of energy, so I'm good for another hour. You guys fine? If you remove the stripes, place inside the track, loop the other end around, and fitted idler wheel, then yeah, there you go. I didn't even get into putting them on the thingy. Sherman's, I guess it's relatable to any armor modelers. So might as well use my demo model. These ones are glued in place. So when you're setting your tracks up, when you're doing your projects for real, these idler arms in there, on every model you do, you try to leave them loose until you put the tracks on. Because then you can, when you put that arm in the hole there, you can adjust to get your tension just right. That's how you adjust your tension, especially with the live track where you want it really tight. The dry sprocket holes usually are fixed, but it's the idler wheels that move. And if they don't, then cut them off and then put a new peg in there so you can rotate it. Because you want that ability, trust me. My Firefly in Tank Art 2 were glued in place, and I learned the lesson the hard way. In fact, I think it was Rob Irvin at Formations Model. So Tank Art 2. So on your Shermans, you want to leave that loose, and I didn't. And I put model casting tracks, those dudes. Same basic process, by the way. And so I had this problem, which is, it's okay. It's not what I wanted. You want that tight. And it's because that, to get the link perfect, and then the tension perfect, you have to, Rob's like, yeah, dude, you have to buy my adjustable idler sets. Because at the time he made resin adjustable Sherman idlers, which is what you want. So anyway, yeah, I've made that mistake so many times. That is a new mistake I repeat. So yeah, what we got? Everybody good? Let's catch up on the chat and the questions, and we'll dive in. Yeah, so that's a trick. Leave all that stuff loose. Sprockets, idler wheels, leave it all loose until the end, until you mount up. Great show. I'm definitely watching this one over again. Yeah, you're welcome, Greg. What does a thinner spritz do for you? So Dave Morris, he asked, so what I was doing, what you're trying to do is spit that thinner down as a fixer for your pigments. And what it does is those little droplets of thinner hitting it gives you that kind of a speckly look. See, if I dab that thinner on with the brush and the thinner diffused out in capillary action, it kind of washes over those pigments and gives it a different final result. So when you do it this way and I use it for dust, David, and I've talked about it in the pigment stream, whatever, I don't know, whatever I did, the pigment stream, I don't know. But that spritzer, drop your airbrush down to like 4 to 5 PSI, straight thinner, and from a distance, get a, that's it, man. It's really fun, really easy. Results are on point. Really nice to do. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll let Zal sleep to make an RSP drink. Well, yeah, it took us a month. Thanks for the show. Got to head out. You're welcome, Josh. Take care. Have a great weekend, brother. Miss what thinner spritzer does for you. Yeah, we got you, David. We got you, Joshua. Let them corrode. Super glue is a waste of your time. Yeah, so to the Friulmodel question of the pins, when you put those brass from the beginning of the show, when you shove those brass things in here, they burnish with the whole thing. All of this being burnished together kind of tightens the tolerances up inside those holes for the track pins. So nothing happens, nothing comes out. You get good movement and you get good strength. I mean, you're not RCing the thing, so you don't need to put the super glue resists the burnishing fluid, which is I think what you guys are all talking about. So I never use the super glue. In fact, I just buy the brass tubes, put them in, and I save the Friulmodel wire for when I need wiring for other stuff. I've got rolls of it. Okay. Let's see. Have I caught everybody's questions here? I'm a little bit behind here. You guys are going. What is a good, easy way to get the tracks on the wheels? The magic tracks give me the most problems. So Luke, yeah. So that's it. We'll wrap that back around what Darren mentioned earlier. Is definitely leave your idler arms loose. Your drive sprockets. Now with Tamiya kits, they have the poly cap, so they slide it on and off really nicely. And then don't glue any of your. Try to leave your road wheels loose as well. Those are glued on. I tend to leave all that stuff loose until the tracks are done, and I'm ready to put them all in the model at one time. And that's after pigments. So the pigments are on the model. Everything's ready to go. The wheels are all weathered separately off the model, and then it's just the assemble part. Put them all together, and then you tighten everything up. You get everything set, and then you hit all your final weathering on the tracks, and you don't touch it. So it's one of the final things you do. If not the final thing. The graphite's the last of the last. Gold, juicy, money, or Jimmy Jams, you finished it. Oof, man, okay. Gotcha, you guys are brutal. Focus, Jason, you're fine. No need to protect these with, nope, none at all. Not whatsoever. I don't protect any of this stuff. That's why a good primer coat on the rubber vinyl, a good primer coat's important. Try to leave the tri front wheel roll. Okay, you guys are already gone. I'm just catching up with you guys real quick, and then we'll roll into the wheels. Those are winter cut and definitely the longest. Osketten or the basic extra wide track. Yeah, two of my favorite track sets. We mentioned before, join. How do you handle super glue for the? Okay, we talked about it. You don't. Skip it. And I think, correct me guys if I'm wrong on the master clubs with the resin pins. Are those pressure fit or do you have to glue those in? I don't remember. I've never built a set, so. Hey Mike, thanks for the show. Okay, he's already I said hi until episode 12. That's Monday. Only coffee for me. Yeah, I'm on water right now. I'm gonna go out. I'll probably go out later tonight though. Coffee only gets you so far. Yeah, it's only 2. I haven't even eaten lunch yet. What does thinner spritz do? Okay, just making sure I got everybody caught up here. Joshua Lee, yo, what's up, brother? I see you. Hopefully this is helpful for your stuff. And like I said to my sci-fi Gunpla, we'll switch up soon. For vinyl tires. Yep, we're doing tires, my friends. We're getting to it, I promise. I'm just clearing the chat, making sure you're all drunk and happy. 2 beers left in the fridge. Of course, you're going, brother. They all fall back out. Okay, fit. The pressure fit, they do fall back out. Yeah, so that would just frustrate the shit out. Like, yeah. The things we do for love. Okay. Are we good on all the tracks? Everybody cool? Everybody clear? Crack that up. Loosen up. Stretch. Okay. Ancient Italy AB41. And then we have Trumpeter. This is the big dog. It's not the Maz. Is it the Graz? It's the heavy tractor, the heavy deuce and a half they have. What is it? Is it a Maz? It might be the Maz. Trumpeter. Okay, so these are both rubber vinyl. These are the whatever Italy uses and then whatever Trumpeter uses. Sprayed coated tan primer. Actually, here, let's go that way. Cheating. I had to make sure my shit works. I haven't done a tire in forever. So Grizz, I don't know if you're Zach, if you're still out there. This is for you, my friend. Okay, so we've got these prepped. And then over here, this is a 1/43rd scale. These are both 35th scale. This is 43rd, like farm tractor, and I forget, it's my old demo model. This is the rubber with the actual, this is how it comes, and I put a clear primer on that and a little bit of a flat coat to give it some bite, some tooth. So this is just like the clear primer, clear flat coat conversation we had on the trains and the Mechatro kit. So we're gonna use the colors of this as the base and see how it goes. And then we have two wheel hubs. That's the AB41 hub, and then this is the Maz truck hub. Let's see, it's the Kraz. I thank you, Tomas. I knew it wasn't a Maz. I'm like, it is a Kraz. It's the big dog. This is the Trumpeter version, not the Hobby Boss, but they're probably the same rubber that they use. So definitely a good primer coat to seal up your vinyl rubber. I'm loving your videos, and I'm having a lot of fun using your. Awesome, Matt. Welcome, brother. How are you? Got to run. Thank you, David. Cheers. So that's the first stage. So I don't actually prime most of my rubber tires in a black. I actually prime them in a tan or a gray. And usually, let's see if we can pull this off. So my boy Zach, let's see if this will open up here. I'm gonna try to share an image with you guys here. Hold on one second. Let's see if will it open up? Let me see if it'll share. Okay, let me move that over here. Let me see if I can share this. I'm just gonna, let's see, share screen, go from this dude. Okay, shares. I want to share this one. Okay, share this one. Okay, share screen. Hold on one second. Share the window. I'm gonna share this guy. Share. Let me see if this. Okay, so there it goes. Okay, you guys should be able to see that. So my friend, mute that dude. I don't know if it's okay. You guys all hear me good? Okay, everybody good? Okay. So kind of the reason I go, like I've talked about before many times, it seems to be a theme, but I work light to dark. So with the stuff that is the vinyls and even the resin stuff, because where's my resin, Jimmy Jam? Oh, it's hiding. My boy was hiding. Here's a full resin one too. This is a Famo tire. It's a Friulmodel's aftermarket for a different version of the Famo front tires. A little flat spotted. Tan primer, and then it's all one piece, so then I primer red the center part for painting. But anyway, that's kind of the look we're going for. So let's, okay, back to me. Hey, yo. Go back to this. Zoom. Okay. All right. Good times. We having fun today. We having some fun. All right. Switching back to an all acrylic painting system. This is all the Mission Models paints. My boy's over there doing his deal. Got my towel. We'll get to the oils afterwards. See how far we get. Put the wheels out of the way. And then we'll get to those guys in a second. I need my dry brush. Let me get a couple sizes here. We'll have some fun here. Let's try. Okay, so we're gonna do some dry brushing. Classics. I've got two flat brushes. One's a 6 and one's a really pro. Watch this. Where is that number? They both say 6. Yeah, I'm not buying that one. The art world will mess you up. I will tell you that right now. Okay, what do we got here? Just finished brakes of my daughter's car, so now I'm here. Okay. Oh, we're right on. Man, you were. Yep. So that's what we're doing. Tires, Hobby Boss, rodent kits, all that good stuff later. Thank you, Belcom Forest. Yeah, this is a long one today, but we'll catch you around. I will put all the timestamps for this for the future too. You guys can check this out at your leisure. Okay, everybody good? Okay. All right, so we get our, oops, poke myself in the eye. Let's start with this guy. So we get our primer down. So what I had done via dry brushing, I layer up light to dark. This is just kind of the same conversation with the tracks. Let me set up, so I got some tire black there. So we got some tire black. It's kind of a nice brown, gray, dark gray, yucky color. No metallics. Let's see, we want a little bit of a black. Where's our, and then we've got our, so we've got two of our, kind of a darker gray and then a darker brown gray. Put the paint in raw. And then I've still got my darker black from the track painting stuff. We got our water. We got a little sponge here for later. Down here, zoom in again. Okay. It's actually real easy. It's real fun. It goes pretty simple. Okay, I think I'm all set here. Got my eyeballs on. Okay. So what I do via the dry brushing process, because we're light to dark, I build up the darker colors really, really slowly. So we go from that to that. Let's just show you real quick. You have to do, I'm gonna manhandle a little bit just because I can get on camera for you guys. So I normally would have this set up to where I don't touch them, but for streaming purposes. Okay, so let's start light. So the lighter color is the tire black here. Okay. Kind of a random scuffiness. See some of the primer's already worn off a little bit. So just kind of go around. Probably could have even put a little bit of a flat coat, a little bit more tooth on that. It's a little bit on the slippery side. But this is water-based acrylic. Just using the side of the thing, just kind of dry brushing in all different ways. Building this up slowly. Kind of get that scruffy tired look. That's kind of how I feel right now. Scruffy tired look. All you boys drinking, that's what's going to be your Monday. You're welcome. Also not my fault. Because I didn't initiate the drinking game. Okay, we get a little raised layers here. So this is, you go, so now the tire black is kind of on the tan primer. You kind of a nice gray, you know how tires get that dirty gray, the dirt gets embedded in them? So get that going. Dry brush a little bit more, build it up a little bit, real slow. Just kind of stipple, stab, whatever. Again, you want kind of sloppy, gritty look. I don't airbrush this stuff too much, you know, and then I don't be super, sorry. I try not to be super even around the tire. So like I leave, like if say that scuffed a rock or a curb, it's going to show up a little bit more. So I leave that there and kind of dry brush the lettering a little bit, pop that up. Again, this is like the track painting. We're not weathering yet. We're in the painting steps. So let's put a little gray in there. So this is the other color. Kind of mixing up the tones a little bit. Just kind of dabbing that through. See how we're starting to layer up the colors there? Just a little bit slightly darker shade, a little bit more of a gray shade. We'll do the treads last, the actual contact patches. But you can see how the more delicate you are with your dry brushing, the more, see how you're picking up those little raised parts in there? And then when the brush kind of gets that soft kind of, you can feel it where the paint's kind of not coming off and it's more of a sponge. I'm coming in here in the inner part here. So if you remember, the reference picture was kind of darker gray on the inner side. kind of going in different directions a little bit. You know, center out, but kind of adjusting it. And this tire is really smooth. There's no like details on it. When we get to the Russian tire, this is gonna really be super cool. But even these old Italeri AB41 tires come out pretty good. So this is kind of a dry desert, you know, Mediterranean, you know, Southern California, because it's the same here too. We literally run the same. Okay. See how that's starting to build up that opacity though, real slow? But it leaves the lighter tan colors as kind of your dust base a little bit. And the reason we go light to dark, the reason I build this up is because what I'm actually doing is if you scuffed a tire and it was kind of a gray, dirty, embedded in the rubber, and then you get that fresh pop of black, dark gray, you're mimicking that in real life a little bit with the dry brushing process. So by going light to dark, you kind of replicate the reality of it. If I went dark to light, if I left them black and then try to dry brush the dust, it looks like somebody painted the tire with a dust color. Whereas this looks like more like an embedded dust in the rubber, which is what you're after. So hopefully that little perspective shift might help some of you guys out. Because the natural inclination is to use the black, but honestly, no, don't. Don't use the black. Because I'm not going to use the pigments for this process, which is the difference between this and the Sherman tracks, because I did go black first, but then I embedded the dust and then dry brushed the dark gray black onto that. But that was a pre-shade to get in the nooks and crannies too. So tire's a little bit different. Don't want to sound like a hypocrite because there's a little bit different. Different processes require slightly different attack perspective. Okay, so let's go a little bit darker. So now I've got this black gray color from earlier. Get that off there pretty good. Just, whoops, I want to kiss these. You can even just dab them a little bit. Just kind of, so it's starting to pick that up. So now you're getting an almost black color, but not quite. Again, you want to save your blacks for last. Here, I'm just kind of right over that scuff. Kind of just, so I'm dabbing, let me show you. So there you go. There you go. There's the money shot boys right here. See, I'm just kind of tapping it, tap, tap, tap. Super gentle. I'm not putting any pressure in terms of like strength. And see that right there? Oh, look at that. We were happy. We were happy today. So kind of just building up that scuff along that peak of that tire. Get that right in there. But see, I haven't used like the pure black yet. Kind of saving that for later. But see, my brush is so soft with paint now, I can kind of get like a soft, spongy look, which is really nice. I'm actually not putting any more paint on the brush just yet. Just slowly letting it pull out what's in there. Just hit some of these corners a little bit. So see how the tan kind of gives you the embedded dust up in here too? So you slowly start building the darker tones back up. You guys good? Everybody cool? I'm in the zone, sorry. Yeah, I'm in the zone, sorry. Long weekend. Yeah, it has been. It's been a long week. Drinks very late and not long. Okay, you guys good. All right. Everybody just enjoying? I was going to ask about the logic to light. Yeah, so that hopefully explains that as I went, Chris, in that one. So I think that's kind of a important topic. See how I'm getting some really nice little scuffs going, you know, in kind of the rotational pattern. You don't want to go everything linear out with tires. You want kind of that mix max of scruff. Oops, there it goes off zoom. I'll get a little pure black. We'll move on to the other ones. Excuse me. And if you don't have water-based acrylics and you have a Tamiya-based setup or something, you know what color works beautiful for this? You'd be surprised. Same idea all the way through, but instead of using pure black, use NATO black. It looks like that greeny, browny, black rubber. Dude, it's such a good color for that too. It's another way to go if you don't want to use. I've dry brushed Tamiya's for many years as well, but I'm just using the mission models today just to show you guys it. So let's get a little bit more of a pure. So by adding the pure black in kind of a knockdown version, you can kind of really build up some contrast now. Where's that one part? Okay, yeah. Dry brush some of the tread. So now you can come back in with it. And don't put too much paint down with this, by the way. One of the tricks of the trade to tires in particular is don't use too much pure paint. It'll overwhelm the color, and you want kind of the subtle transitional. Yeah. See, you want some, it's a little bit out of focus there. So you want, yeah, you want a lot of that subtle transitional stuff between the rubber, the dust, the dirt, the you know, like in LA, you get a lot of that brown smoggy stuff in your tires, how it looks. So that's why the tire black's such a nice color. You get a little bit of a brown gray, and then you get the kind of the more of a pure dark faded gray, and then you got a really dark gray with black, and then I've got a pure black. That's the metal color. I don't want to use that. You gotta remember that. Okay. So that's that. Let's switch over to this dude. Let's see how this works over here. So let me clean that up a little bit. We'll do it real quick and we'll move on and move on and move on. Okay, go tire black. Unload, unload. Kind of being a little scruffy, a little not really caring about it too much. Kind of changing my directions as I go, kind of left, right, you know, side to side. So we're using the tan base as kind of the embedded dust. That's kind of the principle here. And then we're going to build up the exposed rubber. And I'm not worried about the whole tire right now. I mean, I'm just trying to show you guys techniques more than anything else. You know, just giving you kind of the general lowdown. A little bit heavier now. Again on this rib. Kind of built up the opacity. Because it's acrylic, this goes pretty fast. Oops. A little too much paint on the brush, but it's okay. Just scruff it out. Okay. Work your way around a little bit. Kind of stipple these big shoulders up here. Work some of that in a little bit. Okay, tire's starting to come alive. Switch colors. Put a little bit more of the gray in there. So since this one kind of went a little bit, here we'll go a little bit more gray exposed rubber in there. Unload a little bit more. Now again, like the tracks, just to reiterate. This is just the painting process for the tires. We haven't even got to the actual like pigments or oils to weather, to add the dust or dirt, the other stuff, just like the tracks. Just kind of going a little bit more scruffy, quick. Okay, switch to the darker shade. The almost black shade. I'm just kind of kissing the surface right now. I'm just using the scuffs I made before as kind of areas to go a little bit heavier with the black. Or the darker gray. It's not quite black yet. Probably a little too much paint on the brush. So unload a little bit more. So by building up that dark color on top, you keep that nice embedded dust look. Let's get down in the kind of where the wheel rim goes in. Get a nice black in there. This has a lot of nice cast in detail, to be honest with you guys, for trumpeter wheels. So say you want a little bit more in there. It's starting to come up pretty good. Yeah, Nato Black's a great color for a lot of stuff like this. Can you carry over to the rubber part of the idler? Yes, absolutely. This is useful for any type of rubber, like on the road wheels and stuff of a tank or something. Let's put a little bit more hot black on that. Let's go pure black now. But you're putting so little down, you're not slapping down like harsh blacks. This is just popping your... I kind of cheated with this wheel because this one has so much texture on the sidewalls. So much nice to do this. And I would just carry this all over the whole thing. I would just keep doing the whole process. I'm just trying to get this face of it done for you guys. You can kind of see. Okay, so there's that guy. I shouldn't have put that in the water. That's why you try not to use as much water. Dry brushing, you really want as much pure paint as possible. Let me switch wheels in case you didn't notice. I slipped that in there real quick. The resin one's a little bit tougher when there's literally no surface detail on that. So there's a clear primer. No, wait, sorry. Tan primer and a clear coat. There's a flat coat on this. So usually what I like to do is get the tire done first, where it's all one piece. Oops. Yeah, I got to put some water in that brush. Stab that guy a little bit. This gets a little bit easier when there's a little bit more paint goes down on these resin ones. They don't play as nice when they're this smooth. This is old Friulmodel resin too. This is that old yucky, like when you sanded it, like it reeks. I have to go real dry with this one. Build this up. Keep kind of that scruffy, dusty gray tire color in there real good. You can be fairly precise. I'm not really messing up the wheel rim or anything, even though it's usually a little bit of overspray with military stuff and sometimes even quick civilian, where they put on different tires, different deals, whatever. Put some of that rubber ribbing in there. You know, when you get that kind of fool in the eye a little bit. So this one's a little bit kind of a softer look. Okay, let's switch to the darker one real quick. We'll move on here in a sec. We'll show you how this all looks all side by side, different versions. Keep my cords a little. Whoops, it's a little too wet. Yeah, it's important to really, in some of these, when you get a little bit too much of a hot spot, just make sure you quickly dry that brush. Just like all the techniques I do, I always roll them real slow. I'm always real gentle with my initial foray into the brush to the surface of the model. See that there? Because I built up those light tones, those grays and browns and grays early. When you come with the darker tones, you suddenly are able to really pull up some of those little minuscule hot spots. And that gives you that subtle variations. And I will tell you what, if I'm judging this stuff, I judge tires and wheels fairly critically. I really spend a lot of time on it myself, and I know what it takes to really make a high quality gold medal wheel. And it'll make or break a model. I'll tell you that right now. Just so, even though this is real mundane, kind of whatever, this is actually pretty critical for any wheel tracked subject. They're the money shots, if you will, and you really want to take your time, do a good job. If you got like a double axle rear, really do variations between the tires. Let's get a little bit just in black. If you have a spare tire on behind the cab and stuff, you really want to take your time and do a good job. Really bring these stuff to life. I'm hitting it with the hot black right now. It's just kind of stippling, dabbing. So I'm just letting the weight of the brush just transfer that paint real gentle like. Since there's no real surface detail on this, it's kind of the paint's transferring to paint. Give them some scruffs, that kind of spin it, go different ways. Let's get some more of that ribbon in there. When those sidewalls kind of on the buckle, because I think a lot of tires were pie shaped when they were built and assembled. You get kind of the wobble in the sidewall. So if it doesn't have it, you can kind of paint it in a little bit. Just depends on how the tire was manufactured. You can see there. Okay. Yeah. All the same paints, just different style of dry brushing it in there with the different type of tire. But using that light dust color is embedded, and then start to really pull in some of that scuffs, and it's actually a lot of fun. I'm like so in the zone. Okay, so that's kind of the painting part. Let's do a little bit of the weathering part. Let me take a quick little sec here, pop my head up. Yeah, painting in reverse, basically. Yeah, Josh, this is really useful for all sorts of. I don't know if we get to these guys today. I'm running out of gas, I can tell. I'd rather finish these up. We'll get back onto this in a future some. Let's do some weathering. A little bit of dust here because I can tell my stomach's yelling at me now. Yeah, it's odorless. You don't smell it. See, I can smell the paint thinner. Yeah, there's your Tamiya. Okay. Make sure I got the right ones. Okie doke. I won't tape it down today. Let's just do a little bit of dust washes in there. Zoom, 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 zoom. Everybody good? I'm in the zone. In 5x5. What does she say in Aliens? Are we 5x5? When they come off the drop ship. Still one of my favorite. What are those stop motion scenes when that little alien ship, drop ship comes in? I hope they never redo that. Let's leave it like that. Okay. Let's get a couple oil brushes here real quick. I won't put any pigments on the top. Well, maybe we'll see. We'll see, friends. You know me. I always do a little extra for you. Where's I need it? Okay, here we go. Okay. Sticking kind of with just kind of dust colors a little bit. These guys right in here. Normally I'd have all this taped down, but I'm just kind of hustling a little bit. Just get some general dust colors. A little bit of dark gray here, a little kind of. Okay. Let's work with this guy first, because he's so pretty. It's kind of a heavy wash of oils. Let's do a little bit first. Get a little clean blender over here. Because the oil is kind of translucent, you get, and it's an acrylic coat underneath. So this adds a little bit more of an embedded dust back into some of those blacks and rubber color. This is the same trick I'd use for the rubber tires on a tank road wheel. Paint them up, and then kind of put the dust oil down in there, and then start giving it some love. So now I get kind of, there you go. Now you're getting kind of your vertical streaking back, or your center out, kind of as it spins. And I like the oils for this because it's a really in-scale dust look for tires. So it looks wet right now. We've got a little bit of thinner. Yeah, I'll do some Gundam soon, boys. We got some heavy hitters. We got some heavy hitters. My boy, bro builder Brian, got a gold medal with his resin mecha suit at MosquitoCon. There you go. Just how quick that oil was right in there. Boom, done. Those soft transitions. Let's hope that shows up pretty nice on camera. Yeah. So switching. Oops. I can cheat with the same basic colors for now. Gee, let me change the dirt color just a hair. Let's go a little bit more red brown. Almost with the water. Yeah, it's going good. We had a good stream though, right guys? You're pretty good. Got some stuff done. Feel accomplished today. So this is kind of a dirtier brown color. Kind of more of a mud, if you will. And again with tires, you notice I don't do the whole thing. I kind of leave it a little bit on the partial. Get my little, oops, that's the chipping brush. It's not this guy. Okay, get this little soft little guy. Because I'm going to do this dry blending, so there's a little oil in there. Again, the beauty of an acrylic base coat, just run right in. So I'm just stippling this in to soften the transition edges. To give it a slightly different range of tones. There you go. Get a little runoff in there. Do a quick little hair dry of him. still a little bit wet. You can kind of get some little streaks in there a little bit. That's just quickly applying a little bit of dirt and earth colors to your thing here. So let's switch over to this guy. Now this guy, let's call him kind of the raw desert one. So we'll go much paler. That real dry, deserty, calcium-rich, limestone-rich earth. Lighten that up a little bit. And you can go nuts with all this stuff too, by the way. Again, a lot of it's going to depend on your subject matter, your theater, region, what you're doing, who you're hanging out with, who you're watching on stream. So this is kind of a general light dust wash over all that. So it's real translucent. Oops, my brush got caught. And this adds another layer of dust color to the rubber tire as well, because we have the tan primer. Now we've got this color. It's really, really light. It kind of bleeds into the blacks, and see how you get that kind of look in there? Even let this air dry a little bit too. Don't hit this with a hair dryer when it's just loose just yet. Drag some down a little bit. Get some like dust runoff in here. And you can make these little Larry tires sing. But don't put streaks everywhere. The other thing is I like to keep it a little bit more random with tires. You know, have a few little streaks here and there as they spin off. You don't want to have it all over the place. So let that kind of air dry for a second. Where'd I put you guys? Okay, so we got here some. Okay, pulled some pigments out just to show you some technique. So let's take this dude here. Put a little bit of light dust coating down. I know we left the stream, but this kind of will spritz that. Oops, I'm off camera, sorry guys. Just tap that in there, just trying to tap in that dust real gentle like. Don't overwhelm it. You want a real light, kind of dusty, translucent. This is if you want to go with the pigment type dust. Now remember, when you do this, you can't touch this shit afterwards. You got to really be careful. So probably do this on the model itself. I'll get to chat here in 2 seconds, guys. There's my boy Zach. Could you do the dampness closer to the hub? Yep, I will, Zach. Okay, so let me see here. Just spritz that down on there real quick. See that you can just see the thinner hit. So now you got kind of that little bit of grittier, dusty pigment look if you want to go that. I tend to like, I actually like the oils a little bit better than the pigments. Don't matter much. Okay, so if we've got that little bit of an outer lip, so you want a little bit more of a hard transition. I'm looking at that one. I didn't get any of the hub work done. Actually, you know what? We can approach. Are you looking for, Zach, where you were at, boy? Hold on a sec here. Yeah, that's a tough get to get, Marino. Can you show how you would do the dampness closer to the hub? You want me on the rim, Zach? You want to see some weathering on the rim, or do you want to see some dampness on the rubber near the rim, or both? Kind of both. Where's my dry brush? Let me back up the hair. So let's see here. Let's go a little bit. Go back to the dry brushing. So I'm just going to darken that inner rubber part. So anytime you're trying to show moisture or collection of stuff that's like wet like that, go with a darker tone. And you'll contrast that with the drier dust tones. I don't have the hub in there, but so then you got that. Now where's my doohickey the other way? Yeah, we'll just use this one. Okay. So I'm gonna grab in my oils here, Zach. My like engine grease black color here. Let me prep the brush real quick. So oil over the acrylic. A little bit more on the brush. Trying to do this one. Let the shape of that oil kind of a little bit more of a hard edge look to it. Then you could guess. Oops, get on camera. Okay, take the same brush. Just come in right in here, real close. Little tiny speckles. Super tiny, super fly. A little more color on there. You can also splatter the mud, earth, and dust effect onto this too. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. So it gets kind of a fresher, yuckier, gooey area towards the rim right up in here. So that's how I do that, Zach. Yeah, okay. You can see as you wrote how it catches the light. Actually. So I'd probably start putting these on the model by now too, by the way, as a workflow thing. So in your spot, stain was right over here. So you can see how it's got a little bit of a sheen, a little bit to it. It's a little bit of polish in that paint underneath, a little bit of the oil. Dude, that is one grimy looking tire, my friends. And you can play with your base colors of grays, tans, browns. You know, you could really do some different kind of things. So if you have that pigment down, so this one has a little pigment over here that I did a second ago. Same idea. Whoops, ooh. I missed. My finger went right in that. Okay, that's a little thinner. Thin that up a little bit. Get a little thinner. I'm gonna do a little speckling on this guy too, into the dust. Okay, so you've got your pigments. Whoops. So that's little pigments right over in here. So just speckle the oil right into that. You can just see them hitting. They're kind of translucent, dirty, greasy grime color. The pigments does give you that little ability. I'm done. That's some money shot. Look at that. Speckling. It's the world's greatest technique. Literally. Okay. Are we good? I don't know. What else is there? I could probably keep going. I'm running out of, I could tell I'm getting hungry. Yeah, we're pushing over a little bit over the 3-hour mark. No, you're fine. You're totally fine, Zach. Thanks for coming in. We'll do more wheels and tires in the future too, but those are looking pretty. Whoops. Zoom. Yeah, those are looking pretty good. You can even do a little flat coat spritz on top just to kind of because you're going to handle some of this too. You're going to be fighting some handling issues. So like I said, probably get these on the model at some point in time. You got to put the rims in some of these still, and we didn't get. I was going to chip some rims, and I was going to do this one too. I'll save this one for a different process because I want to do the what I plan to do here, and we'll get to it in the next time we do this stuff. Is we'll do. I want to do the life color with the sponge on the raw white and build up a base rusty patch, and we're going to do a little spritz of hair spray, and then we'll do a little top coat spray, and we'll do a little chipping. And then we'll work the rubber kind of in an opposite way we did this to work with the black. Because you can use the black. I prefer the light to dark, as you can see, because you get some really cool. I didn't even get to the treads yet, but kind of on purpose because I know everybody wants to see that big juicy dark tread stuff. Yeah, that actually came out pretty cool. For these shitty little airy rubber tires, they come out all right. You can see how powerful that dry brushing is because you get it's the little tiny micro Jimmy Jams of the bristles do all the heavy lifting for you. So dry brushing is a really nice technique for the track. I mean for the sponge for the tracks, dry brushing for the tires. That's what I meant to say. Any final questions? Oh, I'm dropping shit. Anyway. For the rail cars, yeah, I know. Well, we got some stuff going. S3 models. We got a few. The previous stream. We'll get back on rail. Yeah, Gundam and rail soon. Swing back to armor. A couple more streams, and then I need to prep a plane at some point in time. Get some aircraft going. So yeah, okay. Hopefully that helped. Pretty simple. I even think I can figure that out. Yeah, I think you can. And if you guys are trying all this for the first time, then just grab some stuff and practice on it. These are just little. What I often do, I know a lot of you guys do too, is you're swapping resin for, you're swapping out the vinyls for resin. So keep the vinyl stuff for practice because they're still good technique learners. It's not, I mean, dude, that looks as good as any resin tire I've ever seen. So I mean, they just don't have the squishy, the loaded, the flat spot look, when you want a heavy. So there are some advantages to the resin for sure, but you can definitely paint vinyl, all that good stuff. I don't know what's for lunch, Eric. What am I doing today? I got like some shitty salad in the fridge. I'll probably do breakfast. Maybe an egg sandwich, like an egg McMuffin thing. Okay, what do we got? Let me scroll back up. So let's see here. Let me scroll up a little ways, guys. Lots of comments here. Yeah, recently made the mistake. Okay, so that's where we were. Okay, cool. I'm caught up. Hold on. Let me scroll down. Good night, Forrest. Yep. Famo captured by Brits. That's what it was. Thank you, Tomas. I wonder. I actually forgotten that is actually the British version from Real Models. So that's almost a Scamel tire, isn't it? What? I mean, it's probably the same size. The only problem is there's like no detail in terms of texture and stuff. A little bit tough to work with. Not my favorite. Man, it smelled like resin too. Like hardcore resin. I'm like, oof. Okay. My truck, yep. Just finished the brakes. Okay. Did you hear him dry brushing, Mr. Verlinden? Yeah. I actually spend a lot of time dry brushing. The only problem with Verlinden's process, and his was intended to be for contest tables so the models pop under the stale hotel lights, is I do a lot of dark dry brushing. You can see by going light to dark with the dry brushing how you build that up, and now you've got the embedded dust in the rubber, and now you've got the fresh rubber scuffed, gives you that dark richness. So you've got your Typhoons, Al. This is the perfect demo for all your Typhoon stuff, right? Your armored car, truck thingy, van, mini mobile home that looks like a tank. But yeah, that's how you do that. You on vacay for a week? Sweet, brother. Enjoy, Chris. Creator Studio, here's a few Jimmy Jams. Yep. Antoine, Tony, yep, you're welcome. Okay, so tire, yeah. So Carlos, hopefully that answers the questions for vinyl. And then 40 foot, save, so you, wait, not the tire black from Tamiya, too dark. Well, look guys, hey man, pick all your dark grays. It don't really matter. I just was what I have on hand. I'm just showing you my labels because you're all going to want to, you're going to know. So tire blacks, mission models that make some great colors, some worn gray tire colors. And then you save your black for that final stage, which you saw, but it's so diluted You know, you're not slapping thick black paint down. You're just getting that subtle, and see how you build up that rubber back into it? Went from that tan base primer over the vinyl to protect it, and up to that. Little pigments down here on this side, a little speckling. You can just, the grittiness you can see up close. I don't know if it can really zoom back in. Yeah. So see how you, by building up these layers, you really can develop out your tires in particular. So I expect some good shit on your trucks, guys. NATO Black is my go-to, but I start with that and work lighter. I've just You're welcome, Darren. That's what I'm here for, man. All I'm doing is just to mess you up. It's my whole goal, mess up Darren. I miss you, man. I can't wait to see you guys again. It's been a long time for many of you guys in the chat. We haven't hung out and had a drink or something, but those were good days. Working light to dark. Yep. I don't think a lot of, very realistic. That's what I'm talking about is the truth be told, in, serious coach hat on. Just to reiterate, same with the tracks. All of these were built up just using the different colors that you have that you're working with. All of these are built up light to dark. Those really light layers of color that were in there. And then you can go back in and you hit some, by building that up, it gives you the chance to go back in and redust some stuff up. Now you got a visual depth. When you see this stuff up close, you're getting a real visual depth of all the various colors that are on there. There is what, 1, 2, 3, there's 2 in the 1, 2, 3, so 4. Yeah, it's that color black. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 colors plus the tan is 5 colors plus the oil colors, 2 colors. So you're already at 7 or 8 colors when you get to that level. That's where you get the depth from. That's where you really get that real beautiful depth of the multiple tones. Same thing with the pigments. When I talk about pigments before, how I always talk about that, you can watch those streams. We'll again go over this in the future as well. There's 4 or 5 colors in this. By the time you get to the dark, because you've been mixing so many pigments in there, there's like a dozen colors in there. That's how you get this depth to this stuff. Same thing with these guys over here. Unroll that dude. Back over to this guy here. You're getting all that depth because you're getting so many various levels of colors. They're relatable colors, but you get a lot of grit and depth and realism. That's where it all comes from. That's the money shot. Okay, what do we got? Question: how would you treat a 20th scale F1 rubber tire? Okay, I should do some of that, Sylvain. I would probably, because there's very little of the actual gray dust dirt going into the F1 stuff, race car stuff. Probably wouldn't go with this process in terms of that light. You can go like a, well, you wouldn't prime those either. It's been a while since I've done it. I should do that. That's a specialty one, Sylvain. Remind me in the future, and I'll see if I can find something to do that with. Because it is a thing. Same with motorcycle. To me, 12 scale bikes and stuff. I do have some of those. I do have one around here. I promise you, Sylvain, we'll circle back to race car tires because it's a little bit different. You don't want to be doing quite the same stuff. What's the last time you finished a full kit? Ooh, FAU. SM3 probably. Well, SM4, but I'm not showing it. And there's some stuff coming up that's pretty close to being done too. I've been on the down low with some stuff, but yeah. It's been a couple years on like, Chris, I'd say realistically, my heavy like 10 a year, I haven't done that in a while. I'm down to like 2 or 3 a year. And a lot of it's been in the Gundam world actually. So, but yeah. And I'm just basically, so to reiterate, the printer's actually working pretty hard. They're in the groove too. They're in the zone. They said they're doing okay. They're kind of back to almost full capacity. So, but you're going to see all the stuff that you haven't seen is all coming. And I'm just waiting for you guys because you've paid for that. And that's being fair about that. But yeah. Let's see. I'm not Zach, but I'm for both. A little neat. No, you guys are fine, man. I hopefully showed that was fantastic, great stuff. You're very welcome, guys. Everybody good? I'm gonna go eat. That was great fun. I'm glad you enjoyed this. Yep, you're welcome. Keep pushing on your chippings out too. What do you clean your airbrush with when using mission models, Greg? So I'll flush it with water. And so I get a little garden spritzer thing. You find those in the garden section. Fill it with water. Just do a quick flush in the cup. Dump it out. I have a little catch cup over here, and then a little bit of thinner on the end. And then when you're done with your session, I'd pull the needle out and clean it real good with just a little bit of tiny thinner. It doesn't take much. Don't let it sit though, especially the primer. If you're spraying primer, Greg, clean it right away because it'll kick off. It's a two-part thing. Just for enough on the attendance, IPM is from Vegas resident. Our COVID numbers are way up here in the city. It might look, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous for my Vegas people going to Nats. To be truthful, I'm not overly optimistic about how many will actually make it. It's a bit of a bad time, you know. I feel terrible for them. You're welcome, Scott. Posse with you and Adam and Martin drops August 18. So we'll put that. I've got the thingy in the thing. We did an interview. The links in the description. That's what I'm talking. Like and subscribe. All down below. Do the thingies. Do all that fun stuff for me, please. See you next time. It'll be Wednesday. Probably do some science fiction. You're welcome, everybody. Have a good night, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're at in the world. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. We had a real good stream today. This was real low key. Good times. Covered a lot of ground again. You know, we're Sherman stuff came out pretty good. I haven't done a Sherman track in a minute. That is for real. Yeah, that came out pretty nice too. As long as you don't really manhandle that too much. And I'd probably get that on the tank and then lock it in for the final, go back through. And that's, I do a lot of that. When we finish up the Stug and get the Stug tracks on, I'll circle back around and we'll go into your final. Because then you could really tune it. You can, if your colors are slightly off, if you want to put in, like with the AMX 30 in the field I did in Tank Art 3, you put some mossy green stuff in there. It's been sitting in the field. You can do some stuff. Yeah, me too, Darren. I can't wait to drop the Stupa. Exciting stuff. Good stuff. I've been sitting on a lot of stuff, actually. Truth be told, I'm sitting on a ton of stuff. And that's why I'm doing the streams separately. I want the streams to be the streams, and I want the books to be the books. That's how I'm doing it. Okay, everybody good? Bows to Mr. Miyagi. You guys are too funny. I hope there's a lot of good shots going in here. Drinks, okay, everybody cool. Any final questions before I sign off? Anyone last little doohickey here? I think I caught most of the stuff. Looks like you guys had a lot of fun today too on this Sunday. Yeah, good night, Angel. Nero, you're welcome. Scott, thank you as always, my friend. I hope you're well. Doing good times. I don't know if I saw... TJ, if I missed you, hello, goodbye. Good vibes. Good vibes only, as the girls say, right? Good vibes only. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Everybody, take care. And we'll see you Wednesday. All righty.